DB?
Well, no, I don't think they can. I think this side is, without a doubt, the measuring stick for the premiership this year. And I'll tell you what, if they can beat them, then suddenly we've got to start giving them some thought as to their chances in the finals.
Okay, Undies, your thoughts?
Not a hope in Hades.
Okay,
I think they will get absolutely flogged.
Okay, Central Districts for mine. To the umpires quickly, Darryl Ryan, Seth Scriven and also Tim Pfeiffer are the main umpires. Umpires holding up the ball for the start of the game, and your first caller will be Dennis Brown.
Umpire with the footy about to thump it into the turf. We've got Scholar versus Marsh. Marsh took the ball out of the air with the right hand, went up to half forward, and there's a mark there to Scotty Welsh for the Blood. So a quick start by West Adelaide. He's outside 50. There's the lead being given to him by Dabrowski, but it's a high ball. That'll nearly bring rain if it's possible. And getting to the front and taking the mark, it looks like Greg Mellor from here. And Mellor, of course, who I thought last week when he went to full forward, boys, gave West Adelaide something to shoot for.
Certainly did. Well, it was a good take there by Marsh. Wasn't out of the centre. He certainly just grabbed the ball in a hurried kick. The player in front was Welsh. He went back and tried to launch one from about 55 metres. Went off the side of the boot. But Greg Miller, the former captain of the side, was able to come in and take a strong mark against two central supporters and will now line up from 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, natural left footer Mellor there. The kick didn't come off the boot at all. Up they go. Dabrowski was in front, offhand. Chance for Donaldson. Can't take the ball. Bursting his way through there was in fact Welsh. A kick off the ground, though, has gone astray to the right-hand side for the first score of the match. A minor score to the Bloods. They are one behind. And, of course, they lead Central District yet to score.
Yeah, Greg Miller should have actually made the distance. Only 35 metres out. Kicking to the northern end they are, so Central's kicking to the southern end. Should have done more with that shot for goal.
Hay brought it into the channel and Rick McGowan goes towards the outer side. Hopwood was the target. He's up at centre wing. Good-looking kick and a good pass to Biscuits Arnott. Gets onto the left foot. Goes towards the left half foot on the outer side. Using his body was Rutten pushing him out. Beautiful attack of the ball by Stephen Ayler, I think it was.
Over the shoulder.
Ball in dispute.
Over the shoulder.
It was taken high. So left half forward on the outer side of the ground. The doggies into attack. The ball sits right to the top of the hot spot. At the front was Chubb. Couldn't complete the mark. Walton was in the bottom of the pack. Umpire comes in and says, "Mine, boys," and we'll have a bounce down. 40 metres out from the doggies' goal. One minor score on the scoreboard so far. A couple of minutes gone on the Ducks Hall Water time clock. A dozen or so players milling around the contest. Ball down, ball up, away we go. Walton taps it into the forward pocket area. Swatala had it, then lost it. Can he keep the footy alive? He can't. Boundary throw in about 30 metres around from the point post. First quarter, conditions perfect for footy today, Smithy.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to make mention of that. Undies, conditions absolutely outstanding. Hardly a breath of wind, as you can see on the Captain Snooze roof over the top of the Australian flag, blowing from the south. So going to the north, so West Adelaide favoured with the breeze at this stage.
Right, the boundary throw-in has been affected. It's into a pack of players, though, and we'll have a ball up just inside the 50 for the doggies. They're kicking to the southern end of the Richmond Oval. As the boys said, just perfect conditions for footy this afternoon. No excuses for the skill of the game to be exploited. The bounce down, well, there's the first skill. It was a shocker of a bounce that favoured West Adelaide. It came to Marsh. The handball comes out and away goes Chubb with the footy now for West Adelaide. He'll put it towards the centre wing on the outer side too. West Adelaide players contest, and it's straight through the hands there of Ed Richardson, it looked like, and it's gone out of bounds.
I tell you what, Marsh's game last week, he was a bit stiff not to be included in the Crow squad this week. I thought against Richmond they might have been able to use him against one of the tall forwards.
Yeah, well, actually, it was Marsh who instigated the revival for West Adelaide last week when he went onto the ball. Yep. He really did ignite them as the ball goes up the half forward for the doggies. Big Benny Rutten in front on opposition there to Murray Hamlin. The ball kept in play and spin out of trouble by the West Adelaide player there. Not too sure who that was. Might have been young Taylor. And in fact it was young Robbie Taylor. He was tackled. He goes to ground and it's a bounce just outside 50 for the doggies.
Yeah, only 1 point scored so far in favour of West Adelaide on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Central's yet to score, and courtesy of Ducks Hot Water, we played just under 4 minutes.
Yes, both sides just feeling their way as the tap comes down to Hollands. He's on his defensive 50, gets back on the right foot and kicks a drop punt towards centre wing. Pack set himself. Welsh couldn't complete the mark, and sitting at the front of the pack was McGowan. He gave it to a teammate in Biscuits Arnott. He went in short to Evil Roy Slade on the right foot. He bangs the doggies into the hot spot. Pack set themselves the back. The back of the pack was Shell. But at the front of the pack, flying across and taking a very good mark under the pump, was Christopher Chubb. Comes to grandstand side. Target was Backwell. One bite was good enough because the umpire paid it against Hamblin for interference. So Backwell got plenty of the footy last week.
He gets plenty of the footy every game he plays, this boy. I like him.
Yes, can overuse the ball. He wants to go across his own defensive goal, has a bounce, tries to draw a player, he goes in short. Rutten was the target, and that's where it found him. He's at centre-half back, he goes across the centre square line and bangs the football into the centre-half forward area. Over the back of the pack, sitting and waiting, was Greg Miller, the former skipper, lines up for goal. That's good. The Bloods take first blood. 1-1-7 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Doggies yet to score. You're on 5RPH football with Daryl Smith.
Yeah, we saw there that back where we thought he was going to go right across the half-back line, but he actually chipped it over the top to Benny Rutten. Benny Rutten got it in long to centre-half forward, the danger spot. A lucky bounce there to Greg Miller over the back. He was able to pick it up and turn around and kick truly for his first goal and West Adelaide's first goal. So on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, it is 1 goal, 1 West Adelaide. They are leading Central Districts yet to score, and a very, very good play by the West Adelaide players there.
Ball back in the centre. The big men to do battle again. Scholar versus Marsh. Nullified knockout. No one can get a decisive touch of the ball. Chance there in the centre for Gowns. He couldn't control it. Came to Hay momentarily. Goes in again with McGowan. Had his head down. Got it out to Hay. Hayes with the footy. Got it to Scholar. Scholar now back out towards McGowan. Through comes the player there in Storman Norman. He's tackled. Terrific tackle really by Ricky McGowan, and brought him to the ground for a bounce down centre wing on the grandstand side. West Adelaide in front, 1-1. The Doggies yet to score. Umpire about to put the ball into the turf. Up it rises. Scholar with a right-handed tap. He was looking there for Hay, but it missed the target. The ball back on the deck. Stacks on the mill. Is it going to be? It looks like it is. And the umpire will move in a bounce again as Benny Hollands, the player for West Adelaide, had first touch of the footy. But they jumped on top of him, and there'll be a bounce down.
Yeah, so about 20 or so players milling around the contest on centre wing. Marsh v Scholar. Tell you what, Scholar's having a terrific season. He's at the front of the pack, taps to the right hand, only as far as Hollands, but he lost the footy. Scholar picked it up and gave it to Bello. Bello gave it to the running Slade. He'll bang them into the hot spot. Had a bounce. He put himself under the pump, but he's good enough to get out of it. Goes in short and found Siebenala. And at the centre-half forward area, it took a very, very, it's uncontested mark, but he had some oncoming traffic. He would line up from 40. Yeah,
he was lucky there, wasn't he? Because the ball was going through with Slade. And Slade was bouncing and running around with it and almost got caught. Just looked up and evaded the tackle and got it over to Similar, who will kick from 45 metres out directly in front, kicking to the southern end.
Yes, he's kicking into a breeze, probably worth 2 or 3, so this will be a very good goal. Good-looking kick off the boot. Straight through the high diddle-diddle, a very, very good kick. So the Doggies are away, 1 straight goal, 6, trail the Bloods, 1-1-7. It's on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and courtesy of Northern Paving. Let's check scores from around the grounds.
Sydney 8-3-51 lead Melbourne 2-5-17. Brisbane 6-1-37 leads Long just 4 points. Glenelg 1-2-8 lead North Adelaide yet to score, and Sturt 2-1-13 lead the Eagles yet to score. Thanks to Northern Paving. Back to Richmond.
Yeah, certainly back here where DB's trying to work out which way the breeze is coming from, but we can tell you honestly, DB, it is coming from the south and going towards the north.
Hence we've got 1.5 metre seas in the Gulf.
Coming from the south and going to the north. Well, I am a Dutchman. Down goes the bounds. Up they go. The tap by Scholar, but he got it straight down to Backwell. He tried to evade a player. Chance now for Piazzardi. He lost the footy, and the Doggies will go forward. McGowan's going to run onto it. Net high, I thought, but the umpire said play on. In the centre of the ground as Marsh ended up with the footy. Gave it to Backwell at centre wing on the outer side. He goes short looking for Welch.
Oh, good mark.
No, not paid by the umpire as it goes out towards the half-forward flank. A chance now for the Doggies can be picked up. It can't. The player out there was Heath Hopwood, and the ball's gone out of bounds for a boundary throw, and right half-forward flank outer side.
Thought Welsh could have been paid that mark. Playing in front, he stopped the ball dead, so when they stop the ball dead, you think it should be paid.
A boundary throw in. Marsh took it out of the contest, but lost the footy. Ball in dispute at the bottom of the pack. Toe poke forward. Steinberner had it, then lost it, but it ends up in the arms of McGowan. McGowan gives it to Graham. He bangs the Doggies into the centre area. Follow the bouncing ball, boys. Siebenala was first there. Gave it to Gowans. Back to Steinberner. Watch him run. He gets on the right foot and kicks to right half forward in favour of Hamlin. And he took a very good mark in front of Benny Rutten. He certainly lacks a bit of height in that contest, but he's much more mobile. First there at the back of the pack was Shell, I think. Gave it over to Healy. Healy back to Siebenala. Run on beautifully. There's 2. I tell you what, Smithy, he's a likely type, this young boy. He's pretty nimble across the ground, and he got to the right spot and kicked his second and the Doggy second. 2 straight goals, 12. The Bloods 1-1-7.
They just did that so well, didn't they, the central side? They ran it out of defence, and they found Gowans through the midfield, and they just used the ball so well. They don't overcook it. It was a great play there to come out to this side of the ground. Yul Sinabla on the end of another handball, running into an open goal and kicking his second goal. So great play there by Centrals. West Adelaide then didn't touch the ball, but good play. They just used the ball, teaming up so well, and if the players there to give it to, they do reward the runner.
Worst bounce you've ever seen in your life, and it favours West Adelaide. Marsh pushes his opponent away, gave it over to his teammate there in Toomey into the centre of the ground. A chance here though for Graham. He got the handball away. A loose ball comes into the centre. Oh, beautifully trapped by the Doggies. They go forward to half forward. Big pack of players up, and the good mark on the second attempt to Benny Rutten, who, to all reports, trialled brilliantly for the Crows during the week as he gets the handball over to Taylor. Taylor in a defensive 50, goes to the outer side. At the back, thumped by Piersanti, looking for Donaldson. The ball still on the ground. Piersanti's picked it up. He's going to come away onto the right boot, is he? Yes, he comes bang up towards half forward. The lead is on from Ed Richardson. He'll get a free kick, surely. The umpire said play on. Well, fair dinkum on, not here. As the ball goes towards half forward, let's look after the player that's going for the footies umpire as the ball comes into the centre. Chance for Backwell, and he'll take the mark. Just inside the square for West Adelaide. Tips it short. The lead is on from Dabrowski, and big Dabrowski's got it, and he'll go back and have a shot for goal and kick from about 48 metres.
Yeah, West Adelaide seem to be using the ball a little bit better today than what they did last week. They look around and they've seen Backwell a couple of times use the ball very well, and then again it was Backwell on the instigator of that. But Dabrowski taking a good strong mark out in front on the lead. They'll kick from around about 45 metres out directly in front.
Kick now from Dabrowski, kicks just outside the 50. Not a bad looking kick, and it goes through for a goal to the Bloods. So they're back in front. They go to 2 goals, 1-13. They lead the Doggies 2 straight goals on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Yeah, Brad Dabrowski kicking that from around about 55 metres out. And DB, I can tell you, without the aid of the breeze that is coming from the south to the north, he would not have been able to make the distance.
Well, I still don't reckon it's worth 2 or 3, but anyway.
It's southwester if we want to be technical, gentlemen.
Yeah, it certainly is. But nevertheless, West Adelaide back in front here at the Richmond Oval. 2 goals, 1-13, leading Centrals 2 straight goals on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. And the Ducks hot water time clock says we've played 11 minutes 35 seconds of this first quarter.
Pretty entertaining game for 11 minutes of the first term as Sculler took it out of the contest. Threw the handball away. Toomey first there. Shrugged off a bump. Did it quite well. Gave it to Backwell on centre wing. Gets back onto the right foot and bangs the Bloods into attack once again. Pack set themselves to the front. Geister, 2 bites was enough. Umpire calls play on. Hopwood got the handball and goes in the middle of the ground. And he positioned it beautifully to Healy in amongst 3 Bloods players. Wants to get onto the left foot. That's where he goes. On the outer side of the ground, they run and they can bring it. Biscuits Arnott has it on centre wing. Bangs the Doggies into attack. Underneath it was Slade. Over the back of the pack was Gowans. Gave it back to Slade. Running player is Hamlin. Another goal, surely. Straight through the high diddle-diddle. A terrific build-up. Again rewarding the runner. Murray Hamlin kicks his first for the afternoon. The Doggies kick their third. 3 straight goals, 18 lead the Bloods 2-1-13 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. You're on 5RPH football with Daryl Smith.
One thing that the Central side does so well is when the ball goes to a marking competition, the players run to that competition. They don't run past it. They wait until the ball hits the ground and then they all go. There it was, the player running past that time was Murray Hamlin. Received the handball from Gowans, I think it was, who gave it to him and was able to run in and kick his first goal. So very, very good play by Central Districts. Again, not running past the contest, waiting and then going full bore at the contest.
Ball back in the centre. So the Doggies back in front by 5 points. 13 minutes gone, first quarter. Richmond Oval, up they go. The ball comes to ground, taken by McGowan. He lost the foot, he came to Donaldson. Hurried kick goes up to the edge of the square. Chance for Ed Richardson. He's got the ball, somehow got the handball away. Chance for Backwell. Backwell took a long time to get rid of the kick, but he had to look up. He put it over the head of Marsh. Unfortunately, tackle there on Mellor was a beauty. He's brought the ground, and there'll be a bounce down, and just a little bit over the head of Big Marshy there, Smithy.
Yeah, that's all it was, wasn't it? I mean, the play itself was good play, except the kick was poorly executed. Just went over the head of Marsh, and had the kick been right, Marsh would have been lining up for a goal. But nevertheless, a bounce down taking place around about 40 metres out from the West Adelaide goal.
Beautiful bounce by umpire Scriven, and a left-hand attempt by Marsh would have missed the ball and everything. The ball comes out of the Doggies. Bellows in there, but it came to McGowan. McGowan got the handball out to Hopwood. Hopwood brings it to Healy at half-back, and Healy will... He get a 25. No, the umpire said everything's okay there. So Healy with the ball. Going to go to the outer side. That familiar left foot of his goes bang into the football, and he's Bellow all alone by himself in the other back pocket. Gets a long handball over the top to Graham. Graham at half-back, outer side for the Doggies. Has the liberty of a bounce. Will he have another one? No, he goes short, and there's a player loose there, and up they go, and the player taking the mark for the Doggies there is... It's Arnott, isn't he? Chips short and he finds Graham. Graham in turn gives it into the centre. The kick by... what's his name?
Steinburner.
Steinburner, couldn't think of his name, but the ball comes out. Here's a chance for Slade onto the boot, touched off the boot, goes up towards full forward. They're looking for the full forward in Shelley's got it. Actually threw the ball away. West Adelaide might be the recipient if Chubb can pick it up. He can't. It's back now for the Doggies as Shell goes in and picks it up again. The ball on the ground, and there'll be a bounce down in that left full forward pocket for Central District.
Yeah, good defensive work shown by West Adelaide. They got back numbers to the contest there. Shell had an opportunity, but with 3 West Adelaide defenders coming back, certainly couldn't do anything for Shell.
Umpire Ryan throws a footy in the air. Hamlin was first there, but he lost the footy. Picking up was Rutten, gave it to Taylor by hand to Welsh. He's at the centre half back area, runs to the defensive 50, goes towards centre wing. Target was back well, 2 bites of the cherry was good towards young Tyson Hay. Kept his eye on the chutney, and that's a good result for him. Play on now, gives it back to Healy. He's under the pump, but good handball towards the general Ricky McGowan with the right foot into the forward pocket area.
Great
good looking kick. And he found Benny Walton right on 50. He bangs him to the hot spot. Clever kick and a responsible kick to the hot spot at the back of the pack. 2 bites was good enough for Biscuits Arnott. Thought it was a mark for mine. Umpire Timmy Pfeiffer said, well, you got a hand on that, boy, so we'll play it on. And now we'll ball it up. And I thought, Smithy, that was a bit hot.
No, I thought it was a good decision. He indicated straight away from during the contest that it was touched. So, no, good decision there by the umpire.
Marsh has the height in this contest against Siebenhaler. Down she goes, up she goes. Marsh gets first touch to it, over with the right hand towards the boundary. Donaldson picks up the loose footy and gets onto the right foot. Bangs it towards the right centre wing area. Fighting to the front of the ball was Quentin Graham, showing courage. Just got a hand on it, sees the ball out of bounds for a boundary throw-in between wing and half forward outer side. 16 minutes gone in the first term. So far, it's a 5-point ball game in favour of the Doggies.
Yeah, both sides playing very well at this stage. Central District, though, just using the ball a little bit better than what West Adelaide are.
Boundary throw in. Keenan Ford v Marsh. The ball hits the deck. Marsh bends down, picks it up. He tried to get the handball. He still got it. Gets the handball back. Gave it to Welsh. Welsh with a long handball. Gave it to Donaldson. Donaldson now will go up towards the full forward area and bounces over the back. And it's all the Doggies. And first there will be Geister. The big full-back ball gave a hurried handball over to Fighting Arata. He goes to the back pocket looking for Healy. Bumped away by Storman. Norman may have got a free kick. Norman came over the top and over the shoulder, but the umpire allowed the ball to go into the pocket for a boundary throw-in that left full forward pocket for the Bloods.
Yeah, Norman had to make up around about 20-25 metres there to make the contest. Did it very well too. And I thought it was a fair call there, DB. I didn't think the umpire should have given a free kick.
Well, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, they certainly do.
And on that occasion they didn't. The boundary throw and up they go. The ball down and picked up by the Doggies and goes bang straight for the boundary line, and that was Adam Twatala, and he found it, and there'll be another boundary throw in.
Well, it certainly was deliberate, wasn't it?
No doubt about it. About 20 metres further round. But the umpire didn't fight, and that's all you got to worry about, Smitty. As the ball is thrown in, up they go. Nolan Dabrowski got a hand to it. The ball is kicked up towards full forward. The bounce will be a tricky one, but it's a bit of a top spinner come leg break that went through for the minor score. To the Bloods, they go to 2-2-14. They trail the Doggies 3 straight goals on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Hay, the designated kicker on this occasion. 18 gone on the Ducks order time clock. 5 points the margin. In fact, 4 points the margin. We'll get it right. First error of this afternoon. It won't be the last, I can tell you that. As the ball comes into Hopwood from the kick from Hay. Very good mark in front of the pack. Goes in short. Target was Steinburner. The racehorse. He won't get a chance to run on this occasion because on the mark is Dabrowski. Mind you, he could run around Dabrowski like he was standing still. But he elects to go short again by foot. And he found Biscuits Arnott, who's had plenty of the footy in this first term. Again, short kick towards Quentin Graham. He goes away and runs, so they've moved the ball from full-back towards left half forward. Walton's got the footy, gets back on the right foot, kicks it to the top of the square. Pack set himself well. In fact, Shell at the front of the pack couldn't complete it. Gowans is working well there along with Rutten. Rutten got the advantage and gave it to Chubb. Chubb winning short to Dion Miles, and West Adelaide will clear. They were under the pump, but they did it nicely. Miles comes across his own goal, goes towards Ed Richardson. He's in unfamiliar territory at centre half back, gave it back towards Rutten. Rutten by foot again towards Welsh. He's got a paddock to run. He can have a bounce, he can have 2, probably have 4, but he elects not to have any of those, and he bangs a footy to the hot spot. Big fly at the back by Backwell. That was absolutely stupid for a bloke who's 3 foot tall. Stay on the ground, son.
Undisciplined too, wasn't it? Because they had the play going there. All of a sudden now Central Districts have it at half-back.
Yeah, Hay with the ball. He'll go right back to the last line of defence. He's got the player there for the Doggies in Arnott. He goes to the outer side. Chance for Steinberner. He puts the ball on the boot towards centre wing. Good kick. And the mark taken there by Paul Scholar. Scholar goes in short. He's got Bello loose there. Bello with the footy, no one on the mark, there is now, but Bello's quick enough to get away, looking there for Slade, up towards half forward. Player was Howard, tried to burst his way through. The Bloods have got it though through Dion Miles. He'll go short to Backwell. Backwell can't take the mark, and the interception, the turnover's been taken by Healy. This could be costly. He goes up inside the 50, looking there for the tall timber. It's trapped in front of the Simonada, but he can't control the footy. It goes over the boundary line for a throw in, so almost a costly turnover there, Smitty.
Yeah, Daniel Healy, normally a very, very good kick at the ball. Just that time put it too far out in front of the leading player, and it's bounced out of bounds right in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Right on the 50-metre arc, the ball spinning in. Munn took it from the contest, then lost the footy. Donaldson goes into lend support. They got it out there now. Tumble punt kick forward, trying to find touch and found it. Gained about 40 metres, so clever kick by Donaldson. The general, Rick McGowan, couldn't keep the footy alive. We'll have a boundary throw in. Centre wing, outer side, 20.5 gone in the first term. 4 points the margin in favour of the Doggies. So doing quite nicely, kicking into a breeze. Not sure how many goals it's worth. DB thinks it's worth 1. I think it's worth 2 or 3. Nevertheless, we'll worry about that later. First at the bottom of the pack was Gowans.
DB didn't think there was a breeze here. That's
well,
how well DB's going.
Well, it's quite a nice afternoon out in the sun. Cold as a mother-in-law's kiss at the back of the grandstand. As Gowans has the football. This is James.
You must have the worst mother-in-law in the world. Fair dinkum.
She's actually a very nice lady. Luckily, she's in Melbourne, so she can't hear the call, but that's another story altogether. Munn took it from the contest, gained about 20 metres around the corner. Donaldson tries to keep the footy alive, ball in dispute. Now it trickles over. So a boundary throw in between wing and half forward on the outer side of the ground. 21.5 gone in the first term. It's the Doggies by 4 points.
Boundary throw in. In fact, the ball just spinning back, as Arnies would say, spinning, but straight into a pack of players. And there'll be a bounce down between centre wing, half forward, outer side for the Doggies. And not a bad game at the moment. Both sides are using the ball very well.
Still trying to test each other, aren't they, at the moment, DB? They're, no one's taking control at this stage.
Down goes the bounce to Marsh, and Keenan forward the ball to ground. Marsh is taking on all of the tall timber for Central District at the moment. One wonders how long he can keep going before Mark Stewart comes onto the ground.
Well, Stewart is actually at the interchange gate now, DB, so one would suggest a change might be coming very, very quickly.
Right, the bounce down. Can the Bloods to do something with it? The handball from Holland is a beauty. Finds his teammate in Howard. Howard gave it to Backwell. Backwell up towards full forward. Oh, playing in front there was Hopwood. The ball went straight through his hands, but cleverly the ball was tapped on to Steinberner. Steinberner now to Gown. Gown went to get the handball over. He caught one after he got rid of it. Came to Welsh. Wilson turned to Ed Richardson. He dropped the footy. In fact, it was Mellor. A tackle on, thrown to the ground. I hate to see that as the ball taken by Dabrowski. Gave it to Holland. Holland had a couple of Guernseys loose, but he's elected to put it into the pocket. I don't know what he was doing. And Hopwood goes for the safety of the boundary line. Kept in play, though, by Ed Richardson. Here's a chance for Howard if he can gather in the foot. He can't do so. The Central District player goes in. He was hung on to Hereda, got the handball out and taken by Graham, but he's run over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. So a couple of opportunities then went begging.
They started to get a bit willing there too, didn't they? Going a little bit harder than what they've been, but Marsh is off the ground, as we said, and Stewart coming on.
Ball comes in, boundary throwing, Conan forward with the left, right-hand taps to the McGowan beautifully. Graham's got it, looks upfield, nothing on option, and on offer, rather he bangs a 50-metre tumble punt towards the boundary line. Taylor keeps it alive. Back towards Piasante, gave it over there towards Toomey. Back towards Taylor, they're mucking around with the footy by hand. Piasante's got it now, wants to get onto the right foot. That's where he goes, but he gives it by hand towards Toomey. Toomey short to Donaldson, not 15. She cried, play on, son. He runs around Gowans like he's standing still. Shot at the teeth of the square, wasn't too bad at the back of the pack. A beautiful spoil by Geister. We'll see a rush behind occur. So at the 23, almost 24-minute mark of the first term.
That was good play by West LA, guys, because they didn't panic over there. Normally when you do 3 or 4 consecutive handballs, you start to panic. They didn't panic. They kept the ball in play and probably could have finished off a little bit better. 3 straight goals is the Bloods, the Doggies rather. And the Bloods are 2-3-15, so it's a 3-point margin. Apologies, DB, for butting in, as we have a
A mark on the outer side. Piasante took it. He'll bang it to the hot spot. Up she goes. The pack set themselves. Healy will fly high from the back and spoil. That's a defender's spoil. So Taylor's got the crumb. Gave it over towards the teammate in the biscuits under. He'd lost the footy in the contest. Stewart right in amongst the thick of things on top of the footy. Umpire says, I'll have the ball, gentlemen, and we'll bounce it down 70 metres from goal, as they just indicate a bit of a
free kick,
bit of fisticuffs.
Yeah,
and umpire straight away gave a free kick against Richardson to Gowans, and he'll relieve for the doggies.
Yeah, good work there by the Gowans. They don't mind a little old scruff, do they, as the ball comes now to Arnott. Arnott up towards the full forward area to mark to the doggies as Shell takes the mark. And what's happening here? May have copped one after he marked it. Certainly the Central District players thought so, because they were going to have a go at the West Adelaide defender, but the umpire quickly, and that's good umpiring there.
It was good umpiring.
He could see what was going to happen. He immediately interjected, and now Shell will line up for goal.
Yeah, we'll line up from only 25 to 30 metres out directly in front. You certainly wouldn't think that he'd have any trouble in kicking the goal, but a good play again by Central District. She's using the ball so well through the midfield, and Shell on the end of that, and will kick from 25 metres out directly in front.
Kick by Shell goes straight through the high diddle, so the doggies move along to 4 straight goals. That's 24 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. They lead West Adelaide at 2-3-15, and courtesy of Ducks Hot Water. No, it's not. It's
Northern Paving.
We go back to
You're having a good day, aren't you?
He's having a great day. Sturt 3-1. In fact, quarter time, Sturt 3-5-23, lead the Eagles 2 points. North Adelaide 3-1-19. Hargraves has kicked 2, leading Glenelg 1-5-11. Half-time, Sydney 12-3-75, lead Melbourne 4-6-30. And Brisbane 11-5-71, lead Geelong 2-6-18. Thanks to Northern Paving. Back to Richmond.
And don't forget, coming up at quarter time of this game, we'll be having a summary from Phil Hurden, who was at the Sturt Eagles game.
Umpire Scriven throws the ball into the turf, and up she rises. First there at the back of the pack was Swatala. Dispossessed with the football, allows Stewart to give it to Storman Norman. That's an ordinary looking kick for a league footballer. First there in the chase, the ball was Quinton Graham. Feigns a handle, then goes with the right foot in the direction of Slade.
Great mark.
Big vertical leap by the young man. He's about 3 foot tall, but he got up quite high to take a very good mark in front of the eyes. Goes across towards half-back in the direction of Harada. Harada got it towards McGowan. McGowan by hand to Hopwood. He bangs a tumble punt in towards the forward area at the back of the pack. Siebenala couldn't complete it. First there was Hamlin by hand to Walton. Walton got it over there towards Siebenala, I think it was. Tumble punt kick forward, lands in the arms of James Gowans, who will line up right on the quarter-time siren, kick his first, and the doggies fifth.
Central's just used the ball so well again. Gowans actually drifted into that space there, and they just looked up, saw him in the spot, and kicked it straight to him, and he actually has marked no further than 35 metres out directly in front, and should go back and register his first goal for the game. Central's kicked 4 straight so far.
Yes, James Gowans. Chris not playing this afternoon, as James goes bang with the right foot away to the right, and that's a very, very ordinary effort. Almost like a shank with a golf club.
So he didn't kick through the ball. That's the key to it. You've got to kick through the ball.
Well, he's kicking into the breeze of... I don't think I used the term very strong.
We didn't say it was very strong. You're saying there was no breeze.
Well, I don't think there's a breeze out there.
Look at the flag over there.
Having an influence on this game, put it that way.
Well, we are almost ready to start the second term. Umpire Darragh Ryan has the Burley in hand on this occasion. Up she goes to indicate the time on, and away we go. The combatants will be Marsh and also Kynan Ford. Strange combination there. The bounce favours the doggies. Kynan Ford in there along with Bello. Bello tapped it towards McGowan, the general. Wrapped up immediately by Backwell, and we'll have another bounce. So I hope that umpire Ryan can get it right on this occasion. Down she goes, up she goes, and that's a better looking bounce. Allows both ruckmen to have an even go at it. First there was Healy. Healy got it over towards Sutala, I think, at the back of the pack. They banged the football forward. Gowans couldn't complete the mark. Sitting and waiting was Slade. Kick around the corner, gain about 20 metres. Follow the bouncing ball. Siebenala had the footy. Gave it over towards Walton. Great tackle by Chubb. Umpire says it was a good tackle, young man, and I'll bounce it down about 70 metres from goal.
Yeah, it was a great tackle, wasn't it? Because if he didn't tackle him there, he was past him and almost would have had an open goal there, but a good tackle there by Chubb.
Umpire throws the ball up. Unbelievable in these conditions, but probably the fairest way if you know you're not going to bounce it properly as the ball comes to half-back. Chance for West Adelaide. Player grabbed high there in Dion Miles, was it? In fact, it was Munn. The ball comes to centre wing. Tapped on by Donaldson. He goes in to try and get it again. He has, but they've tackled him left, right and centre somehow. He got it over to Ed Richardson. Richardson back to Munn. Munn on the left boot towards half-forward, and he's got Welsh there. Welsh will flip it on back to Donaldson. Donaldson in the old 1-2 cop one for his trouble after he got rid of Dabrowski with a beautiful little twist and turn, then hooked the ball around. Marsh's set up for big guys to come over the back, but neither of them taken by Mellor. Mellor lost the footing just at the vital moment. Bellows got it. He's tackled. The ball comes to ground. Howard tries to burst his way through. Handballs it at a vital stage. Donaldson's got it. Clicks it back towards the centre half forward position. Taken by Mellor. Around the body goes Greg Mellor, and he put a goal on the board to start this second quarter for the Bloods. They go to 3-3. That's 20, what is it?
21.
21, and they trail Central District 4-125. A great start by the Bloods, Darryl
Yeah,
Smith.
it certainly was a great start by the Bloods. Greg Mellor there made something out of nothing. The West Adelaide players, Marsh dropped... had a chance to mark the ball 15 metres out, couldn't take it, was spoiled. The ball came down and there was 4 or 5 Centrals players around the ball, but West Adelaide just kept persisting, were able to get it back to Mellor, and Mellor snapped truly for his second goal. So a good start to West Adelaide for this start of the second quarter.
Umpire Ryan hasn't had all that much fun bouncing the footy, but on that occasion it was pretty good from the contest. However, when McGowan got a kick away only as far as Piasante, ordinary looking handball by that player allowed Bello to pick up the loose footy in favour of Hay. Can he keep the footy alive? He can't. So between wing and half forward on grandstand side, we'll have a boundary throw in. 4 points to the margin in favour of the Doggies. 3 minutes gone on the Ducks at water time clock. Umpire spinning the footy in. Counter rotating as she comes. The pack set themselves at the back. Kynan Ford tapped it into the corridor. Hamlin had it, then lost it. Slade tapped it forward. Hay was first there. Gets a good bounce and gets it back towards Slade by hand to Hamlin. Bangs it around the corner on the left. Walton dropped what he should have taken. That was an absolute gift. He's in amongst 4 West Adelaide defenders. Picking up the loose ball was Taylor, gaining about 20 metres, looking for touch and finding it. So that kick around the corner, Smithy, towards Walton was a good one, but he coughed up an absolute gift.
Well, it was good umpiring too, because normally an umpire in that situation would think it was going to be an easy mark and might blow his whistle, but it's a good umpiring there, but it was a gift. You're dead right. He dropped what he should have taken.
Marsh actually took the ball out of the air, but Hamlin took it off him and kicked it up to the pocket. Almost a mark there to Shell. He couldn't do... pull it off, actually. He got the handball back towards the half-forward flank. It's gathered in by McGowan. He slips over at a vital stage, and Gowans it is. He puts the ball back, looking for Slade. Back to Gowans it goes. Gowans will come back on the left boot. Hooks it up towards the full-forward area. It's not a good kick, and the West Adelaide through Chubb will take the mark in front of Sivanala. Gets the handball over to Hollins. Hollins and turn to Munn. Munn now out there at half-back. A chance now for Taylor. He'll go onto the left boot for West Adelaide, looking for touch the boundary line. Coming across is Rutten, but he can't control the footy before it goes out of bounds for a boundary throw in centre wing on the outer side of the Richmond Oval, with the Doggies leading 4-1-25. West Adelaide 3-3-21 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Yes, game starting to sort itself out. Kynan Ford couldn't get a tap forward. Ball picked up by Stormer. Norman lost his footy but got the handball away towards Howard. He tries to get his way through 3 players. Lost the footy in the contest. Steinburner picked up the loose ball, partly smothered to Healy. Healy in amongst it, got the handball away only as far as Howard once again. Pretty scrappy piece of play is Donaldson got it to Toomey by hand at Backwell. He gets around a player too easily. Goes inside to Piasante. He can run. As a bounce goes to 50. Have a shot at goal, son. That's what he does. Not a bad looking kick off the boot, but just touched right on the line by Geister for a minor score. So the Bloods 3-4-22 trail the Doggies 4-1-25 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. 5 gone on the Ducks at water time clock. That's in the second term here at the Richmond Oval.
Ball to be brought back into play for the Doggies by Hamlin, I think it is. He kicks the ball to himself, will come to the grandstand side. He has a bounce. In fact, it's Twatala. Twatala will go over the top, gives it to Healy. Healy now onto the left boot. He'll go from half-back grandstand side. A beautiful kick. The big men will set themselves. Ed Richardson got his hand to it. Couldn't hang on to it, though. Players are trying to pick it up off the ground. Richardson did so. Got the handball out. Did it superbly to Piasante. But the ball beat him over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Just interesting in that contest, guys. Piasante had 4 Centrals players around him putting the tackle on. West Adelaide players all standing back hoping that Piasante would get the ball and give it to him rather than helping out and shepherding his teammates.
Right, Scholar on for Ford, and somehow he made the contest after coming on. It came to Bello, straight down the tail of Owen, gives it a backwell and turn to Piasante. Back it goes to Taylor. Over, can't control the ball. Gowns was there. Piasante did it, twisted out of trouble and got a left boot to the ball up towards the half-forward flank, but it's all the doggies there as Hamlin comes out, throws it on the left boot towards, it wasn't Hamlin, in fact, it was Walton, up towards centre wing. The doggies have got a chance here as Gowan gives it to Healy. Healy was halfway through a back turn when he took the ball and threw it on the left boot towards full forward. Shell was in front, and the umpire said he was hung on to, and the umpire was right there, so he had plenty of vision of what was going on back there in that full forward area.
He certainly was right on the spot, wasn't he, DB? So the advantage there of 3 umpires certainly was to the 4 there, but gee whiz, from the back of the grandstand looked like it was just a normal contest. But Shell will go back and line up from 15 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, don't mind those, as long as they pay them all day, because what we saw down the other end, I thought we were watching the military two-step in the first quarter, as he goes bang straight through the high diddle-diddle for the doggies. Second goal to Daniel Shell after kicking one in the first quarter. And the doggies now with a little bit of breathing space, they go to 5 goals, 31. West Adelaide 3-4-22 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
And courtesy of Northern Paving, let's go back to the studio and collect scores from all around the grounds.
North Adelaide 4-2-26, lead Glenelg 3-5-23, Sturt 3-6-24, lead the Eagles 2-3-15. Thanks to Northern Paving. Back to Richmond.
Yes, Stewart, who just came on but has just gone back off the ground again, and the player coming on is Jacob Shoeback.
Umpire Scriven has the Burley in hand. Down she goes and up she goes. Not a bad-looking bounce. Favours Marsh, however. Danny Stevens on the ground, just taps it to a teammate in Biscuits Arnott. He goes with the right foot, but it was partly smothered. Welsh was first there. Plays on quite nicely. Got it to Toomey. By hand again to Piasante. Another ordinary handball from that young man. But picking it up was Benny Rutten. He bangs an up and under kick in favour of Marsh. He dropped probably what he should have taken, but the doggies come away through Hamlin. He bangs a footy with a left foot tumble punt, evades 3 or 4 players, lands in the arms of Rutten, bangs the Bloods back into attack. Leading the chase the ball was Howard, took a very good mark in front of Steinberner. Wants to play on. Now he plays on. Umpire said, well, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and he'll let you go back and have a kick.
Well, the reason he did that was because the player came from behind the mark. So good umpiring again. Dean Howard's got the ball in the centre of the ground.
Yes, he goes with a right drop punt in the direction of Backwell, but he's behind the mark. Thought with mark from wine to Quentin Graham. He's on hands and knees. He threw the handball out towards Arnott. By hand again to Hopwood. They're under the pump, but he get the back towards the Hay. Hay on the left foot. Goes towards centre wing. Big fly by Hamlin in the middle of 2 West Adelaide players. And over out of bounds on the full. Unlucky for the Bloods against Piasante. Gowans will take the relieving kick. So pretty unlucky for the Bloods. Ordinary looking kick straight down the billy go to Taylor.
Gee, who was he going for there?
And that's unlike James Gowans. He's coughed it up a couple of times.
He missed the target by 20 metres.
Normally got pretty good skills as James Gowans. Looks a bit out of sorts so far.
He does today, doesn't he?
Perhaps missing his brother.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Twin brothers, that's always the case now as Taylor goes towards half forward. Player setting themselves. Marsh in front down to Backwell. Backwell got the handball over to Holland. Holland pounces on the footy, puts the ball in towards full forward, but he's offline. The minor score recorded to the Bloods. They go to 3-5-23. Central District 5-1-31. And I'll tell you what, this game was lukewarm, but it's just starting to hot up, boys.
Yeah, James Gowans off the ground for Centrals. The player coming on is young Richard Cochrane.
Geister goes to Steinberner. Steinberner in underneath the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, goes in short to Hereda. Can he keep the footy alive? Well, he could, but Storm and Norman came over the back and went defensively out of bounds. So we'll have a boundary throw in about 70 metres around from goals. 10 gone on the Duck Saltwater time clock. 8 points the margin in favour of the Doggies. 5-1-31 to the Bloods 3-5-23.
Boundary throw-in, Scholar at the back in front. Looks like Marsh. He couldn't do much with it, though. The ball back into a pack of players. Storm and Norman's there. He's at the bottom of the pack. Thought he might have been pinged there. He didn't try to get the ball out.
Yeah, good point, DB. Good point.
The umpire said, no, we're allowing that today, so you can hang on to it as long as you like. I want to throw it up. And that's exactly what he's done. Scholar front position again, a two-handed tap. It comes back to Scholar somehow. He lost the footy, though. Came to the player there in Cochrane. Cochrane up towards centre wing. And it goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in on the outer side. So in the true centre wing position, we've played 10 minutes of the second quarter. The doggies are 5-1-31. The Bloods are 3-5-23 as the throw-in is affected. In front, Scholar again at the tap. Chance now for McGowan. He comes away with the handball. Gives it over now to Stevens. Stevens on the left boot. He's got Swatala in the centre of the ground. That's the way the footy goes. Swatala will get it on to Hereda. No, he won't. He'll chip it into the centre. The lead is on from Slade, but over the top there came Munn. The ball to ground. Then ends up finally with a raid of the handball. Almost intercepted by West Adelaide. In fact, it is by Piasanti. Gives it now to Rutten. Rutten on the right boot towards centre wing. Holland was in front. The ball comes back to Graham. He's tackled. He's hanging on to the footy, but the umpire said he didn't have any opportunity to get rid of it, and there'll be a bounce down centre wing grandstand side.
He's one of the players last week that was instrumental in getting West Adelaide back into the game was young Hollands, but so far today been a little bit quiet.
Umpire Scriven has the cherry in hand, just indicating to the players to give him a bit of space. Down she goes and up she goes. Good looking bounce. First there was McGowan, took it beautifully, gave it to Quinton Graham. He bangs the doggies into attack. Pack set themselves at the back. Chubb couldn't complete the mark. First there was Cochrane, wrapped up by two West Adelaide defenders, one being Rutten, the other being Miles. And we'll have a bounce down. Centre half forward at the northern end.
Good game of footy on our hands here at the Richmond Oval with Centrals leading 5-1-31 over West Adelaide 3-5-23.
Umpire Pfeiffer was about to bounce it, but Munn almost stood on the footy, so he hesitated. He who hesitates is lost, as they say, but down she goes and up she goes.
Yeah, the bouncing's been ordinary.
Yes, it certainly has. Over the back was Miles. He tried to get a scrubby kick forward. Bello was first at the front of the pack. Losing the ball at the bottom of the pack was McGowan. Coming in to pick it up was Chubb. He threw the handball away. Munn in amongst it, gave it towards Lothar.
Good play.
Lothar on the right foot gets the Bloods out of the defence towards the direction of Marsh, straight through the hands of him. At the back, Quinton Graham, who's been busy this afternoon, went looking for touch. Pretty deliberate for mine.
Oh, you're kidding me. How could that not be paid deliberate when he turned around and aimed straight for the boundary line with a handball? No Centrals player there. Should have been paid deliberate.
I'll tell you when it's not deliberate, when the umpire doesn't pay it. As the ball is thrown in, it's tapped down. A chance for Graham this time. No, he can't reach the ball. In fact, the first there was Arnott, but the ball's back into contest taken by Welsh. He goes to ground with the ball underneath him. And the umpire will bounce it down. There'll probably be one in the last quarter, boys.
Unbelievable. I mean, that was so blatantly deliberate out of bounds that the umpire just has to pay it.
Bounce down centre wing on the ground.
They don't have to, do they?
Well, they don't have to, and they don't. Down goes the bounce. Another shocker favours Donaldson. He's grabbed and wrapped up, and there'll be another bounce down. Yeah, I agree with you. The bouncing is not all that crash hot today.
No.
And in these conditions, I mean, if the players are expected to provide skills, well, the umpire should be able to bounce it properly. Let's see what happens with this. That's a better bounce. Straight up in the air. Marsh got a left-hander to it. Beautifully read by Arnott. He went straight through the pack, gathered the ball in, banged it towards full forward. Shell in front. Oh, good grab.
Yep.
That is a good grab. He was under enormous pressure. And a great mark taken by Shell, and he'll kick for his third goal.
Yeah, good contest there between the two players. One at Shell in front, and they were wrestling a bit with his opponent in Toomey. And it was man on man, good stuff. The umpire let it go on, but Shell was just too strong, forced his way to the front and took a good strong mark, and now we'll go back and line up from about 30 metres out directly in front. He's already kicked 2 goals so far as Daniel Shell.
Certainly has. And he's usually a pretty reliable Moby Dick, and that's exactly what it is. Straight through the high diddle for another goal to the doggies. They go to 6-1-37 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Just starting to get away from the Bloods, 3-5-23, courtesy of Northern Pavings. Back to the studio.
Scoring in other matches, North Adelaide 4-2-26, lead Glenelg 3-5-23, Sturt 3-6-24, lead the Eagles 2-3-15, Sydney 14-3-87, lead Melbourne 4-6-30, and Brisbane 12-5-77, lead Geelong 2-6-18. Thanks to Northern Paving, back to Richmond.
Yes, back here at the Richmond Oval, it is Central 6 goals, 137, leading West Adelaide 3-5-23 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Umpire Ryan taking plenty of time with that bounce, and it wasn't great. Allows Stewart to get first hand to it. Gave it to Lothar. Lothar, scrubby kick around the corner. Ball in dispute, but Hollands tapped it forward. Taken high in the contest. And this pretty parochial West Adelaide crowd.
Given the Progs cheer, haven't they?
Yes, as Hollands bangs the Bloods into attack. Quentin Graham got one hand on it. Welsh in amongst it. Threw the footy away. Shoeback in amongst it as well. Ball in dispute, going nowhere. Umpire Scriven says, "Mine, boys." And I'll bounce it down about 20 metres out, or probably 30 metres out directly in front of goal at the southern end, DB.
Yes, and let's hope this is a straight bounce and doesn't favour anybody. Yes, it is too. Up it goes, Stewart and Scholar. The ball tapped down to Donaldson for Westies around the body. Up they go. Dabrowski there for West Adelaide. He trapped the ball, kicked off the ground towards the goals, but that amazing man McGowan's going to pick it up. He's a good player. Flips it over the top, and away go the doggies through Steinburner in the back pocket towards the centre wing. It's 2-on-1 in favour of the Bloods, and they're going to lose it, are they? Yes, it's kicked off the ground there by Healy. I think it's now Danny Stevens who's got it. He'll flip it into the centre to fighting Harada. Harada quickly on with the boot up towards half forward. It's a perfect kick. Now Healy will run on the inside 50. There's the left foot of Danny Healy. What's the kick? It's gone straight through the high diddle, and that's why Central Districts are on top of the ladder. They are a very good side. First goal to Daniel Healy, and the doggies go along now to 6-1. They lead West Adelaide 3-5.
Outstanding play there by Central Districts. They just used the ball so well. As you said, McGowan was back in that full-back area, defensive zone, got down there, used the ball over the top, and it went from half back to half forward without a West Adelaide player touching the ball. Ended up with Healy on that familiar left foot, ran to inside 50 and went bang and kicked truly for his first goal. Great play there by Central Districts as McGowan came off the ground and James Gowns has come on, and another player coming off is Richard Cochran, and the player coming on for Central Districts is Benjamin Walton. So Central's now 7 goals, 143, just starting to break open this game here at the Richmond Oval, and West Adelaide 3 goals, 5-23. They lead by 20 points to Central Districts at the 17-minute mark of this second quarter, courtesy of Ducks Hot Water.
Good bounce by the umpire, allows Schooler and Stewart to go at it evenly. Lather in amongst it, going nowhere. Umpire Scriven indicates that he'll bounce it down once again. And I don't really know why the umpires have had such trouble bouncing the footy this afternoon. They used a Burley in the first term, rather a Sharon in the first term, a Burley in the second. Players don't seem to have a trouble with the football. Down she goes, better looking bounce by the umpire. Schooler at the front of the pack. First, however, was Taylor in amongst it, through the handball in the direction of Backwell. Clever tap towards Piasante, high, up and under kick towards centre half forward. Welsh at the back of the pack.
Mark.
Good fly, keeping his eye on the footy was Tyson Hay. Took a good mark on the chest, gave it towards Evil Roy Slade, gets back on the right foot. Kick partly smothered, ball in dispute there to Biscuits Arnott. He bangs the doggies into attack. Big fly the back by Stevenala, he couldn't complete it. In amongst it was Walton on hands and knees. Dion Miles came in and jumped on top of him, and as well as a footy. And umpire Pfeiffer says, can I have the football, gentlemen? As we have the blood rule, Chris Chubb will come off, bit of claret underneath the left eye, I think.
And it could be a good opportunity to go back to the studio, courtesy of Northern Paving, to get scores from all around the grounds.
Thanks very much. And still low scoring at Unley West Sturt. 3-6-24 lead the Eagles 2-3-15. A goal apiece at Prospect into the second quarter. North Adelaide 5-2-32 lead Glenelg 4-5-29. Brisbane 12-6-78 lead Geelong 2-6-18. So 10 goals to margin there. And Sydney 15-3-93 absolutely thrashing Melbourne 4-6-30. Scores thanks to the Northern Paving Centre. Let's go back to Richmond with the time at 3.
Chubb off, Marsh on from the contest. Stevens had it, then lost it. Almost had his pocket picked by Backwell. Ball's in dispute at the bottom of the pack. And umpire Pfeiffer once again. They've gained about 10 or so metres, so about a 25-metre mark. Northern end here at the Richmond Oval ground in terrific condition.
Oh, great condition.
19 minutes gone in the second term. It's a 20-point margin in favour of the doggies. Players milling around the contest. Down she goes, up she goes. Better looking bounce. Marsh tapped with the right hand down towards Backwell. Ball lost. A free kick off the play. I think it'll go to Backwell. Against Stevens, perhaps. Taken when you get them, particularly in your defensive 50.
Particularly when they had the ball too, coming into a shot at goal.
Backwell's been quite busy this afternoon. He elects to go grandstand side and have a bounce. Goes with a drop punt. 2-on-1 contest against the Bloods. Hamlin was 1 bite, 2 bites, but it spills free towards the Biscuits Arnott. Clever kick into Danny Stevens, and a noted goal kicker from 42 metres out directly in front. I don't think this will be a trouble, Smithy.
No, certainly will make the distance, no question. But again, once Central Districts get the ball, they just know where to go. They all run forward. They look up. It was a little short kick over to Danny Stevens. As Andrew Underwood said, he's marked 42 metres out, virtually directly in front. Won't have any problem with the distance.
If he kicks it, this will be his 88th goal in SNFL football. Goes at the goals away to the right.
Just swung
as
away,
usual.
Just swung away with the breeze.
Yes, you give a bloke a rap and he'll always let you down. Funny old game, football, as Simon Munn will bring the ball in for the Bloods.
Yeah, Munn to the outer side of the ground. Not a bad kick either. Terrific kick, and finds Big Benny Rutten. And he'll go back at half-back on the outer side. They've been under the pump in the last 10 minutes, the Bloods, as Rutten goes short and he finds Marsh. So Marsh still at half-back virtually on the outer side. All the teammates have been marked at the moment, so he goes straight down centre wing with a high ball. Up they go. In front was the Doggies, but it came to ground. It was gathered in beautifully by Gowans. He went to centre wing. Not a good kick, and it's been marked there for West Adelaide by Miles. Dion Miles, centre wing, outer side. He's going to pump the Bloods into attack. Nice kick. Up they fly, off hand. Who's going to be first there? Coming through was Lothar, did it superbly. He's going to go onto the right boot and put a shocking kick up towards full forward. And the Doggies, as easy as you like. Out comes Tyson Hay, bangs at the centre wing, outer side, or half back actually, and the mark taken there by Graham.
Graham's got the ball, goes towards centre wing. The vacant player out there was Hopwood. He bangs the Bloods, or the Doggies, I'll get it right eventually, into attack. Walton was at the front of the pack and took a pretty easy mark from 48. Bangs into attack once again. Target was Sibanala. He couldn't complete the mark, but the ball bounced.
Sibanala then actually handballed the ball over to him, and Stevens weaved his passage around, turned around and snapped truly for a great goal. Just missing one moments earlier, but certainly made up for it with that snap too, and has now kicked his first goal, and Central District's 8. They go to 8 goals, 250, leading West Adelaide 3-5-23 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. And courtesy of Ducks Hot Water, we've played 22 minutes of this second quarter.
Ball back in the centre, up they go. Stewart got it down to Lothar. Lothar, of course, was the player that put that shocking kick into the West Adelaide forward line before, and the Doggy took it straight down and kicked a goal. Costly turnover, that one for sure and certain, with the umpire back in the centre. About to thump it into the turf. No, he decides to throw it up. He's given away the bouncing. Probably good tactics. It's taken by Stewart. Stewart up towards half forward, and the mark taken by Ed Richardson just outside 50. He'll go short. The lead is on from the new player onto the ground, and that, of course, is Schuback. And Schuback will line up for goal and kick from about 47 metres.
Yeah, good play there by West Adelaide. Schuback led to the right space. There's plenty of space there, and Centrals didn't have the numbers back this time, but Schuback will kick from 45 metres out on about a 45-degree angle too.
There's the left foot of Schuback. Beautiful kick. That's a magnificent kick. Tell you what, I don't know about the breeze, but he's kicked that about 50, 60 metres. A magnificent kick through for a left-footed goal to the Bloods. And to say they needed that was an understatement. They go to 4 goals, 5. That's 31. They trail the Doggies 8-60. And courtesy of Northern Paving's back 50, that is, back to the studio.
North Adelaide 5-3-33, lead Glenelg 4-6-30. Eagles 5-4-34, leads third 3-6-24. Brisbane 12-6-78, lead Geelong 2-6-18. And Sydney 16-4-100, lead Melbourne 4-6-30. Thanks to Northern Paving, back to Richmond.
Back here at the Richmond Oval, go the Swannies. My brother-in-law will be very happy given that he works for them. Umpire Pfeiffer, what can he do? Another ordinary bounce. This time it favours Stewart. Out there was Norman Storm, and Norman, he's amongst it, but he almost lost the footy, almost threw it away for mine.
Free kick.
Picking up the loose ball. Picking up the loose ball was Evil Royce Lady. Bangs him into attack. Walton couldn't complete the mark at the front of the pack. It was Marsh. Strange player to be for a crumbing player, but will have a bounce down about 48 metres out in front of goal.
DB, how could Howard then not get a free kick?
Well, the umpire must have been watching the ball because he was definitely dragged off.
Oh, he was dragged off it. The umpire was standing right there, but even the other umpire's only 20 metres away. Surely he could blow his whistle.
Umpire Scriven has the football. Down she goes and up she goes. That's a better looking bounce. Sibanala tried to get a hand on the ball. Marsh gave him the don't argue and got the handball towards Howard. Howard by hand to
good play.
Big Benny Rutten. I'll tell you what, he's had an afternoon so far. He got it to Piasante. He bangs the Bloods into attack. Big fly of the front from McKeenan 40. Couldn't complete the mark, but picking up the crumb was Tyson Hay. Runs his measure and bangs on the left foot towards left half forward. At the front of the pack was Rutten. Showed some courage. Surely a free kick umpire, and I'm not happy with that. But at the bottom of the pack, in amongst it was Taylor. And I'll tell you what, Rutten stood on under the oncoming traffic, and for mine, DB, it was infringed.
Well, he was met high, and he was forced under the footy from the attack from the back, and the umpire said, play on. Amazing. But anyway, obviously these blokes have played plenty of football. They know what it's like. Down goes the bounce. Another shocker. Absolute Barry Crocker comes straight to Donaldson. That centre wing still the ball. Player hung on to was Bello. Play on the call as it comes to centre wing to Welsh. Welsh gives it to Taylor. He put him under the hammer, but he's good enough to go in and get it his back. Well, he bangs it on the right boot towards the half forward line. Offhand, the Doggies, though, beautifully done by Hopwood. Gave it to Swatala. Swatala to Harada. They're still at half back. He gave it to Keenan Ford, who wasn't expecting it. The ball. Player met high. He's got to get a free kill in Schuback. And Schuback now outside 50. as the West Adelaide supporters giving the Bronx cheer to
Yeah,
the
I'll tell you what, he's
umpire.
got the open square there. He could just about bang it in long, you know, and it would have rolled onto an open goal, but he's gone in short to Backwell.
Yeah, and Backwell now outside 50. He's got Donaldson there giving him a lead, but he's opted to go back and have a kick. And while he's doing all this, of course, all the gaps are going to
He's
fill
got
up.
Richardson in short.
No, he's going to bomb it to the square and hope that the one of his teammates can take a grab. That's his only option now. Now he goes in short, tricked everybody, and it's a beautiful pass. And he's found
great
Storm
play.
and Norman.
Yeah, great play there by Backwell. Held the ball up and waited for someone to become available. And Norman led into that centre-half forward spot where all the players were going to the goal square. Norman led into the centre-half forward spot. Backwell saw him and kicked it over the top of a couple of players. And Norman has marked the ball and will kick from around about 40 metres out, directly in front, kicking to the southern end here, and we'll just edge West Adelaide a little bit closer.
DB, pretty good kick considering there was 32 players inside that defensive 50.
It was a rip snorter, wasn't it? He hasn't kicked the goal yet, Storman, and there's the kick on its way, and he still hasn't kicked the goal. Way to the left-hand side, and through for the minor score. 4 goals, 6-30. That's the Bloods, and they trail the Doggies 8 goals to 50.
A disappointing kick there by Norman.
27 gone in the second term. Mr. Taylor looks to bring the football in. Comes to grandstand side. Target was Healy. Kick had to be good. Wasn't quite there. Welsh got a hand on it, but Healy went back in and picked up the loose ball. Gave it to Geister by hand. Goes towards Steinberner. He can run the racehorse, but he elects not to on this occasion. Gives it to Kynan Ford. Back to Geister. Now he runs, but the siren will beat him. So at half-time here at the Richmond Oval, it is a 20-point margin in favour of the Doggies. 8-2-50 to West Adelaide 4-6-30. You're on 5 Up Edge football with Daryl Smith.
You certainly are too. Central District's goal scorers Daniel Shell with 350. They lead West Adelaide 4 goals 6-30. A 20-point ball game at half-time. They did lead by 10 points at quarter-time. And as we said, they now have stretched it out to 20 points at half-time. The game just about to get underway here again for the start of the second half. The umpire's just going to hold the ball up. And I just wonder whether the umpire's coach, DB, would have said anything to his umpires at half-time to say, look, get the bouncing right or otherwise throw it up.
Well, he might have if he was here. He's definitely here, is he? Or
Oh, they have to have an umpire's observer would be here.
Oh, okay, righto, yeah. Fair enough. Down goes the bounce, and once again, this time it favours Scholar, who took the ball out of the air. The Central District player in Hay came through. He's a good player, isn't he? Look at the handball over to Steinberner onto the left boot towards Slade at centre-half forward. And Slade inside 50 takes the mark. He's got a Guernsey loose at half forward. That's the way it goes. Danny Stevens, the player, but he couldn't take the mark. It's down on the ground. Chance for Stevens again. If he can pick it up, he does so. Hooks the ball up towards centre-half forward. Intercepting, however, is Dre for West Adelaide. He comes away. A handball gives it to Taylor. Taylor now towards the half. Have a look at that. He's picked out McGowan and straight down his throat. McGowan in turn gives it over to his teammate there in Hamlin. Hamlin up towards centre-half forward. A poor kick taken by Rutten. Rutten gets the handball onto Taylor. Taylor on the last line flips it over to Piasati, who's in the back pocket on the outer side. No one to kick to, so he goes short and he finds Benny Rutten just inside the defensive 50.
He's playing a good game, Ben Rutten, isn't he?
Yes, he's reversed his defensive 50 and goes towards centre wing. The target was Chubb. Found him nicely with a good-looking drop punt. Chubb now on the right foot up in the direction of Welsh. Quentin Graham at the front of the pack. Toe pokes it forward. Awkward bounce evades all and sundry. Welsh again picks up the loose ball. Bangs it on the right foot to the hot spot. Pack set themselves. Big fly at the back by Richardson. He took a very well-judged mark. He's tight on the boundary line. Howard calling for the footy inside.
He's liable to go back and kick this, you know, Richardson. He's that sort of player, isn't he?
Well, he's kicking into a breeze. The breeze is sort of coming almost a true westerly. Pretty blustery across the ground, going from the grandstand side across to the other half-forward flank. So he'll be kicking into it.
It'll favour him if he puts it out in front of the goal.
Yep, certainly will. Richardson, a good strong mark, will kick from around about 45 metres out on a pretty acute angle.
So let's see what he does. Pretty deliberate in his attempt. Let's fly, ball holds up in the air. Umpire says, I think that's okay. He's happy. First blood to the Bloods in the third term. 5-6-36. It's now a 14-point margin on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. The Doggies 8-2-50. 2 minutes gone in the third term. You're on RPH football with Daryl Smith.
Oh, just a great mark and a great contest, and the captain of the side certainly leading from the front there, and Richardson marking the ball in a contest, which was a pretty ordinary kick coming in a forward line. You often wonder why players would lead deep into the forward pocket like he did, but Richardson certainly knew what he was doing. He took the strong mark, went back and deliberately had a shot at goal, and put it out the front of the goal, as DB said, and the wind did the rest for him, and it kicked truly for his first.
Bounce in the centre once again. A shocker favours Marsh, but he tapped it straight to Bellow. Bellow kicked it towards half forward on the outer side. Hamlin in leading in the race for the ball. Also with Rutten. It'll beat both of them over the boundary line, though, for a boundary throw in. I'll tell you what, the Doggies don't underestimate this West Adelaide side. Norwood did last week and they got knocked off.
They get their tails up, West Adelaide. They play pretty good football, don't they?
They certainly do, as the ball is thrown in. Marsh and Scholar in front. Marsh, but Scholar takes it again out of the air with two hands. Gave it to McGowan. McGowan's high kick is marked by Scholar, but it didn't travel the required 15 metres. In fact, he took it and handballed it over the boundary line for a throw-in. Outer side, half-forward flank for the Doggies. They lead 8-2-50. West Adelaide are 5-6-36 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. The umpire throws the ball back in again. This time Marsh at the back and Scholar with a big right-handed tap. Bellow tried to fist it away. It was taken by McGowan. He got the handball over. Gave it to Arnott. Arnott up towards centre-half forward. Norman up high. Couldn't take the mark. The ball is picked up beautifully by Munn. Gave it back to Norman. Norman over the top to Howard. Westies are running. Howard's going to get run down if he doesn't get the kick. He was going to get run down, but beautiful bit of shepherding there by Backwell. But unfortunately the kick has gone to the Doggy players now in Steinburner. He runs around on the left boot and goes. Oh, that's a dangerous kick, but Hopwood's good enough to take the footy. In fact, it was Heath Hopwood, and he's gone bang towards the outer side. And all of a sudden, Central's just playing as though they've come off a big lunch, Smitty.
Yeah, one thing that West Adelaide are doing is they're getting numbers to the fall of the ball, and that's the difference. I mean, there was a couple of occasions there where West Adelaide had 2 players to Central's 1 or 3 players to Central's 2, and certainly 2 will always beat 1, 3 will always beat 2.
Marsh and Schooler go at it. Ball spills free to Howard. Howard threw the handball away. Too hot for Marsh. Bellow comes in, takes the opportunity. Can he keep the footy alive? Runs away on the left foot. Did it quite well, the young fellow. He goes out towards the outer side of the ground. Target was Gowans. Tight on the boundary line. Gets back, loses his footing. Threw the handball in the air, but in doing so, fell over the boundary line. So we'll have a boundary throw in between wing and half forward on the outer side of the ground. 14 points is the margin in favour of the Doggies. 5 gone on the third term. Umpire set to get the play back underway. Spinning back into play. Dre at the back of the pack. Tap forward only as far as Miles, however. Did it quite well on the left foot. Kicks into the middle of the ground. Target was Marsh. Slick handball off towards Backwell. Backwell run. Got himself under the pump, but he gave it to Piasanto. He's got some time and some space. Goes with the right foot in the forward pocket. Shoeback was a target. Rolling at the back of the pack. Free kick off the ball to Shoeback. It'll be against Steinburner. And Shoeback on that left foot will line up for goal about 10 metres out and will nail it.
Yeah, good decision there by the umpire too. Was right in close and saw Steinburner, I should say, infringe with Shoeback, and certainly had no hesitation in playing the free kick. And Shoeback, pretty cute angle, but only around about 7 metres out from goal.
In he comes, kicked a goal in the second term. Not a bad-looking kick off the boot, but it's away to the left.
What a bad-looking kick off the boot. It's come out here to out of bounds on the full.
Well, I said it wasn't a bad-looking kick off the boot, but it is way away to the left, and he's missed a lot.
By a big space, too, I might tell you. Healy throws the ball to himself and then flips it over the top to Bellow. They're at half-back. Bellow will go across looking for Graham. Or Graham dropped it. Back to Bellow. Graham will go towards the boundary line and picked up by Big Scholar. He'll go short. The kick's a pinpoint pass to Hereda, who takes the mark on the grandstand side. Hereda now delivers the ball to the centre of the ground. He's looking there for McGowan, and McGowan takes the mark on his chest. Been a fantastic player over many years as Rick McGowan. Wonderful reader of the ball. He's got it in the centre of the Richmond Oval. And the Doggies just need to get a goal here just to settle things down as he comes back out to Steinburner. Steinburner at centre wing. He's going to try and run past Norman. Norman then had to force a hurried kick towards half forward. Up they fly, almost to mark the Gowns. Couldn't take it, and going over the boundary line with the footy was Dion Miles. There'll be a boundary throw in right on the 50-metre area for the Doggies on the grandstand side of the
West
Richmond
Adelaide
Oval.
would be disappointed with that, wouldn't they? They had a chance of scoring a goal at one end, all of a sudden now it's at the 50-metre mark for Central Districts.
Sibanala did it quite well from that contest. Munn picked up the footy, gave it towards Miles. Miles around the corner on the left foot. Awkward bounce evades Richardson. Comes in the hands of Backwell, runs his measure, feeds it by hand to Shoeback. He's got some time and space, has a bounce, goes to 50, probably can make the distance with the left foot. Good looking kick. Has it got the legs? It has.
Made up for it.
Second to Shoeback, 6 to the Bloods, 6-6-42. It is now an 8.4 game on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. The doggies 8-2-50. We've played 7.5 of the third term. You're on RPH football with Daryl Smith.
Could that just be the spark that ignites West Adelaide? We saw it happen last week here where they came from behind against a pretty committed Norwood side. Are they doing the same thing here again? Schuback, as DB said, made up for his previous miss and ran to the 50-metre line, saw the open goal and kicked. Truly a great kick by Schuback. And West Adelaide, well, they are at the ball a little bit harder than what Central Districts are at the moment, and certainly making a charge. They do trail by just 8 points after trailing by 20 at half-time.
Yeah, Central seem to have come out a little bit sluggish in the third quarter. As the bounce goes down, up they go. Marsh, a backhanded tap, looking there for Schuback. The ball at the bottom of the pack, picked up by Howard. He flips the handball out to Piasati. He can't control the footy. Now he's got it. He was going to handball over to Taylor, but he flipped over to Vital Stage. He got the ball down to the player there in back. Well, he goes over the top to Marsh. Marsh will kick from outside 50. The drop punt going in towards full forward. Up they fly in front there with Welsh out the back, though. Kicked off the ground by Hopwood to half back on the grandstand side. It's all Westies, though. Schuback's going to be first there. Pack picks it up. He'll go bang with a handball to Norman. Norman's in trouble, as he knows. Yes, he is. He goes to ground. That'll be holding the foot. He had more time than you can imagine and messed it up. Healy pounces on the ball. Gives it now to Steinberner. He'll run through centre half back. Gets past Lothar. Throws the ball on the right boot to half forward. It's going to be in front. McGowan over the back, though. Stevens, the recipient of a lucky rebound. Picks up the foot. He tries to run away from his opponent. Gets it over there to Slade. Slade took it away from his teammate. He kicks it up towards centre half forward. Chance now for Big Rutten. Been a very good player, Big Benny. Flipped it over the top. Gave it there to Piasati, and Westies are out of trouble as Piasati comes into the centre to Taylor. Taylor in turn. He gives it over to his teammate there in Dre. Dre comes to the centre wing, and the mark taken by Schuback, and there's no doubt about it. Westies have lifted it. He gives the ball back to Dre. Dre on the left boot. Up towards the full forward area. Up the back. It's a big mark to Mark Stewart. And all of a sudden, this game has turned around, as was the case last week. Daryl Smith.
Yeah, it certainly has. About the same time too, wasn't it? We've played 10 minutes of this third quarter, but a great play by Ben Rutten, and you've got to be impressed with the way he's been playing today on the Crows list, and certainly wouldn't do his chances any harm the way he's been playing today. Outstanding at centre back. The ball's come through. Backwell then involved as well, but it's ended up with Mark Stewart taking a strong mark and will kick from 40 metres out, or probably 30 metres out.
Yet to kick a goal for the Bloods. He's made no mistake, straight through the high diddle-diddle. So we've got a ball game on our hands here. 7 goals, 6 for West Adelaide. That's 48. They trail the doggies, who are on 8 goals to 50 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Yeah, the doggies yet to add a score since half-time. We've played 10 minutes of this third quarter, where the West Adelaide side have added 3 straight goals. So certainly doing a wonderful job. West Adelaide, as DB said, have come out a lot faster and attacking the ball a lot more than what the doggies players are. Central's just looking a little bit flat. They want to be very, very careful, because once West Adelaide get their nose in front, they are going to be very, very hard to stop.
Yes, the Central District runner out there, he's got a cattle prod in the hand. He's going to give the players a bit of a jolt just to wake them up in the third turn, because it's all the blood so far. Marsh gets it towards Lothar. Lothar gives it by hand to Schuback once again. Wants to get on the left foot. Runs to the line of the centre square. Pushed as he kicked it, and accordingly went off the side of the boot, straight down the billy goat of Hopwood. So take the luck when you get them. Might have got a free kick nevertheless. Steinberner has the football.
He was lucky it wasn't paid downfield.
Yeah,
Steinberner got it to Fighting Hereda. Goes back inside to Hay. Hay gets onto his familiar left foot. Got the kick partly smothered. Gained about 40 metres. Rutten was there overrunning the footy and lost it. Walton picked up the loose ball. Touched as he kicked it. In fact, no, it wasn't touched as he kicked it. Out on the John Ball. Richardson will bring it in for the Bloods. Gives it to Storman Norman, who's been busy in the third term also. Up and under to Lothar. Lothar's on centre wing, outer side of the ground. Looks at his options. Got plenty on offer.
I'll tell you another player that's been playing well for West Adelaide is Marsh.
Yes, Marsh had a big afternoon. Goes into the centre half forward area for that kick. Welsh at the back of the pack. Tapped it in favour of Howard. He's pulled off the ball, but umpire calls play on. Holland's taken high for mine. Surely. Umpire Scriven said, no, you weren't, Benny.
You are kidding me.
No, I think he staged a little bit, boys. I think it was just on the top of the shoulder, not quite on the top, just alongside of it.
And umpire Scriven has the Sharon in hand, just clearing a path for himself. Down she goes, up she goes. Good looking bounce on that occasion. Schooler and Marsh go at it. Comes towards Hopwood. Hopwood around the corner on the left. Awkward bounce for Piasano, but he follows it up nicely. Stewart's got it. Throws out the raking handball towards Lothar. Got some time and some space. Shot at goal. Looks pretty good. Hasn't got the legs, however. Touched on the line. Well, caught on the line. Nice. Steinberner took the relieving kick. Goes towards centre wing. Target was Stevens. Kick was good, but he couldn't keep it alive as it fell over the boundary line for a throw in between wing and half forward grandstand side.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was nearly out of bounds on the full, to be honest with you. And
well, I reckon it was out of bounds on the full, and the players are remonstrating to say that it was out of bounds on the full.
You're kidding, eh? The boundary umpire's a foot away, and we're 100 metres away.
No, the umpire wasn't a foot away. He was 100 feet away. There's the bounce. The throw-in comes over the back. Chance for Bello if he can pick it up. Welsh goes in, picks up the footy. Beautifully tackled by Healy. Comes to ground, and there'll be a bounce down centre wing on the grandstand side. It's what turned into be a pretty good contest here at the Richmond Oval.
Certainly has been a great contest. West Adelaide 7 goals 6 trail Centrals 8 goals 2. It's a 2-point ball game in favour of Centrals after leading by 20 points at half time, and another horrible bounce.
Yeah, absolute shocker, and actually nearly went out of bounds by itself without the players touching it.
It would have gone out of bounds.
And the boundary umpire to throw the ball in. That was umpire Dara Ryan. As the ball is thrown in, up they go at the back. Healy tried to take the ball, trying to burst his way through there with Hopwood. Yeah. He was wrapped up, though. Great tackle by Storm and Norman. And a little bit of pushing and shoving. And this is where the umpires have got to get complete control here. Otherwise, this game could erupt. As the umpire's got the footy, he's about to thump it into the turf. He's due for a good bounce. Oh, I should have said that, should I? It was a shocker. Comes to Welsh. He controls the football, gives it to Marsh. Marsh will get it further afield. A chance now for a shoe back. He's wrapped up. Great tackle. And the ball to ground, and there'll be a bounce down just inside the 50 or just outside the 50 for West Adelaide on the grandstand side.
Yes, tackling a highlight of the game here this afternoon.
And the bouncing not.
The bouncing has been ordinary. As we got the blood rule. I think it's young Tyson Hay coming off.
Could be a good opportunity to go back to the shootout and get scores from all around the ground, courtesy of Northern Paving.
Yes, well, at the moment at Cardinia Park, it's Brisbane 15-12-102. They're leading Geelong 6-11-47. Pretty clear cut in the other match, with Sydney well on top of Melbourne. We'll have some more scores throughout the afternoon, and just commence playing the third quarter in other matches. Scores thanks to the Northern Paving Centre. Let's go back to the Richmond Oval.
He's doing a marvellous job back there, Peter, too. And he's getting very willing here.
It's getting very willing from that contest. The ball's in dispute at the bottom of the pack. Bello was there. Had it, then lost it. Got it to Howard. Picked up the loose footy. Runs to 50. Go, you good thing. Has it got the legs? I think it has. The Bloods are in front. And the crowd erupts here at the Richmond Oval. 8 goals, 6-54. That's the Bloods. The Doggies 9 goals, 2-50. So the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard 15 gone in the third term of the Ducks at Wooders Fine Club. You're on RPH Football with Daryl Smith.
Great play there by Howard. The ball was squeezed out the back and then virtually bounced into his arms. He looked up and saw the open goal square. Randall just outside 50 and went bang with a big drop hunt, and it went straight through. So Dean Howard's first goal, and has put West Adelaide in front after trailing by 20 points at half-time. They do now lead by 4 points at the 15-minute mark of the third quarter, courtesy of Ducks Hot Water.
Down goes the bounce. Beautiful bounce this time. Tap down to Lothar. Bursting his way through, though, is Slade. Slade kick around the body. He's picked out McGowan, who was off. The umpire said play it on as it comes out to Cochrane, who's fresh on the ground. Cochrane towards full forward. Up they go at the back. It's going to be a doggy mark. No, taken by Norman. He tried to get the handball out, did so. Diving on the ball there was Lothar. And there'll be a bounce down in the true centre half forward position by the Doggies, who need to kick a goal here to restore the lead that they've had for most of the day, and it's just been taken away from them by the Bloods. Down goes the bounce. Players set themselves over the top. Welsh with a big thump towards the pocket. First there will be James Gowan. He falls over. He's had a shocker of a day, really, Jimmy Gowan.
He has, hasn't he?
And there'll be a bounce down in that left full forward pocket.
But he's the sort of player, DV, that you'd think when the game is close, he just might pull something out of the bag and do something that other players don't do. And he's been that sort of player all year, hasn't he? He's been one of the leading goal kickers for Central Districts, as we see the blood rule again, I think. Yep.
Yes,
yeah,
Rob Taylor coming off. Got a bit of claret on the right elbow. Darragh Ryan picked up a trickle.
I tell you what, this blood rule is fast becoming a pain in the Khyber Pass, I can tell you.
It certainly is.
Toomey on, Taylor off. He's got some time to get across to the contest. Surely we should have some common sense prevail whereby the players can perhaps go off on the other side of the ground. Nevertheless,
let's go back to the shootout and get scores from all around the grounds, courtesy of Northern Paving.
Yes, Brisbane 16-13-109, lead Geelong 6-11-47. At Prospect, Glenelg hit the front. Glenelg 8-8-56, lead North Adelaide 8-4-52. And the Eagles 6-11-47, lead Sturt 5-7-37 at the Unley Oval. Thanks to Northern Paving, let's go back to Richmond.
From that contest, Gowans had it, then lost it, then fell back on top of the footy. Umpire Ryan, who threw it up earlier, will do the same thing again, one would suggest. He's taking plenty of time, certainly concerned about their bouncing ability, so he said, I'll bounce it this time, and he does a good one. Big fly by Miles over the back of the pack, looking towards the boundary line. Ball spilled free, however, Gowan's picked up the loose footy. On hands and knees, he threw the handball out towards the boundary line, chopped off by Toomey. Got a kick tight on the boundary line. Can he keep the footy alive? He can. Straight in the arms of Arnott. Pretty ordinary kick as Arnott comes in towards the centre half forward area. Big fly over the back of the pack. Gowan's in amongst it. On hands and knees, ball spills free to Backwell. Backwell by hand to Norman. He's been busy, goes with the left foot in towards the centre half forward area at the back of the pack. Hopwood, follow the bouncing ball boy. Cochrane is in there as well. First there, I think, was Piasante in amongst the traffic. Handball towards Howard. Howard got back onto the right hand, trying to do a bit too much with it. Get rid of it quick, son. You ran none down from behind. Stewart had it, then lost it, but goes back in, tries to pick up the ball on the right foot. Did it quite nicely, the big fella. Then he lost the footy to McGowan, the general. The general goes on the right foot towards the centre wing area. Ed Richardson was there, taps it. Can he keep the footy alive? I think he can't. And we'll have a boundary throw in a true centre wing position, outer side of the ground. 18 and a half gone in the third term. It's a 4-point margin in favour of the Bloods.
It's amazing how West Adelaide have lifted, and that's what they did last week. They're playing like 50-year-old men, and all of a sudden it turned around completely, and that's what's happened as the ball is thrown in, and there'll be a bounce down between centre wing and half forward for the Bloods on the outer side. They lead by 4 points, 54 plays 50 on the Torrens Arms Hotel score. But the umpire throws it up again. Marsh attempted a left-handed tap. The ball comes to ground and stacks on the mill again. And umpire Pfeiffer, is it, will move in, and we're not sure whether he'll bounce it or throw it up.
Another change for Centrals. Paul Scholar off, and the player coming on is Murray Hamlin.
The ball up it goes. Marsh front position straight down to Toomey. Toomey on the right boot towards half forward. Ed Richardson in front and takes the mark in front of Hereda. And he'll kick for goal. He'll have no trouble with the distance. He can be a thumping kick, Ed Richardson. He's already kicked one. And he's going to kick from about 52 metres.
It's interesting, isn't it, DB? We always say that the players in front have got the more opportunity to mark the ball when quick kicks come out like that. Richardson was in front of Hereda and did so.
He's going to kick from 52. The kick's a big drop punt towards full forward. It's going to lob in the square at the back. Marsh almost the mark. It's been paid. And big Benny Marsh has taken the mark. He's yet to kick a sausage roll. The umpire putting him on.
Well, I'm marking it down for a goal because he's only about 2 metres out. He's on a pretty acute angle, but he's got the experience to be able to run around and certainly have no trouble in registering his first. Does just that.
The goal for big Benny Marsh, his first. West Adelaide go to 9 goals, 660. They lead by 10 points over the Doggies, 8 goals, 250. Let's go back to the studio quarter, courtesy of Northern Paving.
North Adelaide back in front, 9-4-58, lead Glenorg 8-8-56, Eagles 6-11-47, lead Sturt 5-8-38. We've got Brisbane 16-14-110, lead Geelong 7-11-53, and Sydney 22-5-137, lead Melbourne 9-11-65. Thanks to Northern Paving, back to Richmond.
Back here at the Richmond Oval, it is Central's 8 goals 2, trailing West Adelaide 9 goals 660. 10 points in favour of the Bloods.
Yes, Kynan Ford took it out of the contest, threw the handball away. First, however, was Richardson. Gave it to Backwell. Backwell puts the Bloods into attack once again. Stewart at the front of the pack. Eyes on the footy. And too big, too strong. And in front of the pack. Gave him first opportunity to mark the ball. Already got one this afternoon. Amazing signs here at the Richmond Oval. The Doggies have not scored a goal in the third term. The Bloods, however, have kicked 5 and are about to kick their 6th.
They haven't kicked a score in the third term, and Stewart's mark just worked his way to the front there and held onto a good, strong mark.
From 20 metres out, pushes away to the left, and that is an ordinary effort. Yeah. He should have done much better from that. Took a very good mark, put his huge frame in front of the pack,
well,
but just
exactly
couldn't convert.
Should have done better than that, and thus gives now West Adelaide a 11-point margin. They go from the 9 goals 7-61, leading Central's 8 goals 250 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
That could be the turnaround, boys. Hopwood's got it in the back pocket, and he's about to kick it along that outer side wing, you would think. He's taking a long time. He's going to throw it on the right boot in the high ball towards the centre wing. pack will set themselves. Ed Richardson came across, couldn't take the mark off. Hands are taken by Hereda. Hereda will go up towards the centre of the ground. Slade dropped a very difficult mark, and the ball will be held to him for a bounce down in the true centre wing position on the outer side. So the Doggies 8-2 at half-time, and that's what they are, and we've played 22 minutes into this third quarter. Amazing, really. As the ball is thumped down, Big Marsh will lead in the race with the ball. Gets the handball over to Taylor. Taylor's got plenty of time to get it over to Passardi. Passardi's got Dion Miles running past. Miles with no one to kick to, so he goes to the boundary line and fires
it. He did that well. He did it well, but it was deliberate because that's what he was aiming to do. And the boundary umpire will throw the ball in between centre wing and half forward, outer side for the Bloods. We're into time on in this third quarter. The boundary throw in. Hereda at the back. Marsh has done a pretty good job, really. The ball comes out to Cochrane. Cochrane gave it over to Jimmy Gowns. Up towards the centre wing. It'll beat all and sundry over the line. No, it won't. Yes, it will for another boundary throw. And this time between centre wing and half forward for the Doggies on the outer side.
Yes, at half-time we enjoyed a pasty from the lovely ladies in the kiosk, so we thank them for that. Mind you, it's repeating, but nevertheless, pastry does that. A beautiful Balfour's pasty as the umpire throws the footy in. Hereda first there. Ashley Smith, he wouldn't mind a cup of coffee. What are the chances? Probably fairly slim, I would have thought. Big fly by Marsh over the back of the pack. Got it towards Miles. Miles by hand towards Howard. He runs his measure. Can have a bounce. He elects not to and bangs the Bloods into attack once again. Good contest there. Great crumb by Lowther. Sitting and waiting at the front of the pack. Shot at goal was good. I think it is.
The goal. No risk.
Geister couldn't get a hand on it. What a great goal to the West Adelaide side as Lowther kicks his first. West Adelaide continue on their merry way. 10-7-67 trail a pretty hapless Central District side. 8-2-50 at the 24-minute mark of the third term. And courtesy of Northern Paving, let's go back to the studio and check scores from around the grounds.
Final score from Cardinia Park, it was Brisbane 16-14, 110, defeating Geelong 7-13, 55. Still playing Sydney, 22 goals, 6, 138. Leading Melbourne 11-11, 77. North Adelaide are now 10-4, 64. Lead Glenelg 8-8, 56. And Sturt 6-10, 46. Lead the Eagles 6-7, 43. Thanks to Northern Paving. Back to Richmond.
Game here on our hands. West Adelaide 10-7, 67. Leading Centrals 8-2, 50.
And Hereda taking the centre bounces of the ball. Comes to Piazzardi. He's wrapped up, thrown to the ground by Marco Bello, who is a bit desperate there. It's almost as though he was going to jump on and ride him out of the park. But the umpire said, give me the ball, boys. I'll bounce it just inside the attacking square for Central Districts. And interesting, fighting Hereda into the ruck. As the bounce goes down, obviously worried about Marsh's dominance at the moment. The ball comes out to Danny Stevens, a high ball towards centre half forward in front. Rutten couldn't take the mark. It comes over the back. The lucky bounce taken by Slade. Around the body goes Evil Roy, but he's missed. Away to the left-hand side for the minor score. First score of the quarter. Can you believe that to the Doggies? They go to 8-3-51. They trail the Bloods 10-7-67 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. 25 minutes have gone in this third term. As Simon Munn with the ball. He's going to go to the outer side, a long kick. Up they go. Marsh in front, through his hands, though. Raider takes it out of the air and will go backwards and give it to Hopwood. Hopwood had a touch of the fumbles and consequently going to lose the ball. The Bloods are in there quickly. A chance now for Passardi. The handball over to Backwell. He tried to do a bit of fancy work, gave it over there to Lowther. Lowther's got a chance to get it further afield. Chance now for Shoeback to pick up the ball. He does so, flips it into Holland. Holland will kick around the bottom. Met very high when he kicked the footy. Chubb's up there in the pocket for the Bloods. He's hanging onto the footy. I'll tell you what, the Doggies were lucky there because young Holland got absolutely poleaxed when he kicked the footy.
So did Lowther get poleaxed as well. I thought there could have been 2 free kicks there to the West Adelaide side, but Central District starting to panic a bit here, DB.
Umpire Scriven indicates he's going to throw the ball up, and he does just that. Marsh taps it down towards Howard, gives it towards Lowther. Kick on the boundary line was tight and pretty opportunistic. Yep. He just snuck it in for a point. So the Bloods peppering the goals here, 10-8-68. They lead by 17 points on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, 8-3-51. The Doggies want to get a hurry on as the balls came in towards Quentin Graham. Looks at his option, wants to go the outer side of the ground. That's where he does go now with a raking drop punt. Target up there was fighting Hereda at the back of the pack. He was behind, so he spoils. Cochrane took a very good crumb. Back to Hereda. Steinberner wants to motor through. Doesn't, runs through 3 or 4 players. Almost ran too far. Kicks into the forward 50 area, but a very well timed mark was Benny Rutten, who's been a rocket rebuilder back in the fence today, DB.
He certainly has, and as soon as you give him a rap, he's let you down because he's kicked a shocker, and the doggies have got it through Bello. Bello in turn gives it to Arnott. Arnott outside 50. They need a goal. The doggies. The kick's on its way. That's a magnificent kick. He's put it through for a goal to the doggies. They go to 9 goals, 357. They lead West Adelaide. They trail West Adelaide 10-8, 68. And that could be the turning point in this game, boys.
I think it might just be a lucky one for Central, because for West Adelaide, because the siren's not going to be too far from going, one would suggest. But Benny Rutten, as you said, in that play, has been playing an absolutely outstanding game. Came to the grandstand side where it was a 2-on-1 contest in favour of the doggies. And, of course, the doggies got the ball back to Arnott, and Arnott ran to within 50 metres and kicked truly for their first goal of this third quarter, coming at the 27-minute mark, courtesy of Ducks Hot Water.
Height in favour of Marsh in this ruck contest as umpire Scriven throws the ball down. A raider is his combatant, and accordingly Marsh goes with a big swipe. First there was Bello, but sharked by Schuback. Schuback gave it towards Howard, who's been busy in the third term. Piasante running onto it and runs through its country. Gives it to Schuback. Goal, surely! No!
Gee, 2 opportunities there to Schuback now. Only to kick goals that they really did need to get, but great play by Wesley. Just quick, deafening handballs out to give to the running players, and the Schuback should have made that one count for his side.
Yes, a pretty good build-up though. They moved the ball beautifully out of the centre square. Released Schuback to run, but he just couldn't finish it off as Switala looks to bring the ball back in for the Bulldogs. And he looks at his options. Wants to go the outer side of the ground. That's where the drop punt goes. Target was a raider at the back of the pack. He couldn't complete the mark. First there was Backwell. Looked in the direction of Hollands, but he couldn't pick the ball up. Gowan sharked it. Gave it towards Hopwood. Back towards Quentin Graham. He's under the pump. Gets a handball away cleverly. Ends up with Gowans on the left hand. He goes towards Steinburner. Steinburner's on left half back on the outer side of the ground with the drop punt in towards the direction over there of Walton, but chopped off beautifully by Dre, who took a very, very timely mark.
Dre into the centre. Up they go at the back, almost taken by Hamlin. Couldn't do so, but the doggies have got it through Jimmy Gowans. He'll go in the centre. A kick may have been smothered. It came off the boot very awkwardly. Hip and shoulder. Got rid of Simon Munn. Allows Danny Stevens to go in and kick another goal for the doggies. There go along to 10 goals 3. Second goal to Stevens. And suddenly the doggies back in the ball game here at the Richmond Oval. They trail West Adelaide 10-9, 69.
Yeah, courtesy of Northern Paving. Let's go back to the shootout and get scores from all around the grounds.
Three-quarter time, North Adelaide 10-5, 65, lead Glenelg 8-9, 57. Sturt at three-quarter time, 6-11, 47, lead the Eagles 6-7, 43. Final score from Cardinia Park, it was Brisbane 16-14, 110, defeating Geelong 7-13, 55. And in the other match, it's Sydney 23-7, 145, lead Melbourne 11-11, 77. Thanks to Northern Paving, back to Richmond.
Umpire Pfeiffer has the ball. Down she goes and up she goes. Good-looking bounce right on the three-quarter time siren. We have a ball game on our hands.
How important was that goal?
6 points as a margin. The Bloods in front 10-9, 69. The Bulldogs 10-3, 63. You're on 5RPH football with Daryl Smith.
Yes.
To having a bit of a task on their hand. I think that they will. Or are West Adelaide going to be a finals contender?
DB, it's almost a mirror image of the game last week.
Yes, exactly right. Although last week Norwood weren't able to withstand the onslaught of the Blood when they got their game going, and just then Central, I think, just showed what a good side they are by kicking those 2 very important goals late in the quarter, and 6 points, and with the breeze at their back, I think they'll still get up, the doggies.
Okay, just about to start the all-important final quarter as the umpire holds the ball off, and your first caller will be Andrew Underwood.
Yes, umpire Scriven has the ball in hand. Scular back into the ruck contest. The Burley goes down, and another shocking bounce straight in the arms of Backwell. Backwell comes towards grandstand side. Target was Piasante. Took a good mark under the pump and plays on. Goes with the right foot into the hot spot. Chubb at the back of the pack couldn't complete the mark. Working well there, I think, was Geister. Picked up the loose footy and goes towards centre wing. Targeted there was Hamlin. Spoiled away from him nicely by Backwell. We'll see a boundary throw in right in front of the RPH commentary team. 30 seconds gone in the final term. 6 points is the margin on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Yeah, boundary throw in. Marsh, who certainly had a big influence in West Adelaide grabbing the lead. Scholar threw it away. Jimmy Gowans will run onto it. got past his opponent there easily and puts the ball on the right boot. Not a good kick though. It comes up towards half-forward grandstand side. Backwell got rid of his opponent to allow Lothar to pick up the footy. He goes up towards half-forward, a chance for Shoeback. He can't do it. Jimmy Gowns runs onto the footy. Nice little handball to Steinburner. Steinburner goes to centre half-forward. At the back though, Munn, the opportunity, couldn't take the mark in front. Slade. Munn tried to tap it back to Storm, and Norman did so superbly. He twisted out of trouble, got it to Miles. Miles back to Munn. Munn doesn't know what to do. He's going to get holding the ball surely. And a great tackle, although he just took too long. The advantage paid, and the player actually kicked the ball up the umpire's cove of parts, so he's got to come back and take the kick. And that'll be Sivanala. So Sivanala now with the right boot up towards full forward. Not a good kick. It's over the head of Daniel Healy and allows Dion Miles to take the mark and give it to Benny Rutten on the grandstand side half-back flank. So Rutten will go short in towards Taylor. The umpire says play on. In fact, it was Backwell. Gives it back to Rutten. Rutten towards centre wing. Marsh, the taller of the two. And mark. In between two Central District players, he takes it. He gives it over to Piastani. Piastani to Howard. Howard flipped it over the top, but beautifully taken by Hopwood. He's dragged to the ground. They want holding the ball, but it comes out to Steinburner, who cleverly puts the ball towards the boundary line. It's still in play, though. No. Now it goes over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Yeah, good hard football here at the Richmond Oval. It is West Adelaide by 6 points, 10 goals, 9. 69 leading Centrals, 10 goals, 3, 63 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Good boundary throw in by the umpire. Marsh at the front of the pack, tapped it down only as far as Ricky McGowan, the general. Kick off the ground out towards the boundary line. Will the ball stay alive? It will not. So we'll have another boundary throw in.
Could we see a repeat of last week? West Adelaide coming from behind and snatching victory.
Well, they're in front at the moment by 6 points.
Well, they came from behind is what I'm saying.
That's well. Interesting as the umpire throws the ball back in once again. Marsh had it, then lost it. At the bottom of the pack, McGowan throws a handball away, only as far as Backwell. That's where he didn't want to give it. Backwell runs through traffic, did it very, very well on the right foot. Kicks it towards the hot spot at the back of the pack. Stewart couldn't complete the mark. Running under was Holland. He's been quiet this afternoon. Around the corner in the direction of Richardson. Gets around his opponent. Has a shot at goal, but smothered beautifully by Geister. Ball spills free to Biscuits Arnott. Goes towards the outer side of the ground. Target was Slade. Ball rolling towards the boundary line. Munn is happy to see it over. We'll have a boundary throw in between wing and half forward on the outer side of the ground. 3.5 gone in the final term. It's a 6-point margin in favour of the Bloods.
Yeah, you mentioned that Ben Hollands hasn't had a real influence in the game so far. He was one of the players instrumental last week in getting him back into the game, but his influence will be needed in this last quarter.
Yes, Marsh took the ball out of that boundary throwing contest. He was wrapped up. I'll tell you what, terrific work by Geister back there at full-back. That looked like a certain goal to the Bloods. His desperation saw the ball cleared away as the umpire throws the ball up. Marsh over the top of Scholar, got the tap down into a pack of players, goes the footy again, and the umpire will again be forced to throw it up. He threw the last one up, the previous one he bounced, and we'll see what he does this time.
Who knows?
He'll throw it up surely. No, he's going to bounce it, I think. No, he's going to throw it up. Up it goes, in front Marsh, at the back Scholar, almost took the ball at the bottom of the pack. In there is Munn. He can't do much with the footy, and there'll be another ball up from umpire Darragh Ryan, is it, or is it Seth Scriven? Umpire Scriven. He's going to throw the ball up. Up they go. Marsh,
he couldn't even throw that up straight.
He's having a bit of trouble with these ball ups. There's no doubt about that. As the ball's in contest again, he's going to get more practice unless he wants to pull out a free kick.
Now, was I seeing things in DB, or did he throw it up crooked?
Well, it looked like he threw it up crooked, Smithy, but I'm a long way away. As you know, my eyesight's pretty poor these days.
Well, let's see what he can do on this occasion. Up she goes. Well, it went straight up on this occasion. At the back of the pack, Marsh tapped it down. Numbers in favour of the Doggies, but the Bloods through Shoeback, throw the ball out, stolen over by McGowan, kick partly smothered. Backwell was first there, tries to get his way through traffic, can't do so. Out there is Steinman, who has the football. Underground punt kick towards the centre wing area, off the boot of Dion Miles, but didn't go out on the full, so I'll have a boundary thrown at centre wing. We've played 5.5 minutes on the Ducks at Water time clock, no score of any kind.
Very important, the first goal here, isn't it?
Yes, you don't need to be a road scholar to work that out, Smithy, as the ball comes through at the back of the pack. Kick forward to the centre half forward area. At the front of the pack was Lowther. He couldn't complete the mark. Awkward bounce pervades all and sundry. First there was Backwell, who's been busy in the Beirut bricklayer this afternoon. Piasanto's at the back of the pack. Can you kick a goal, young man? No, he can't. In fact, he just snuck it in for a point.
Should have got it over.
Well, that's exactly right, DB. He had Stewart in the goal square. If he had ran to the goal square, he would have forced the fullback for Central Districts, and that player was Geister to come at him. He could have then just handballed over the top to Stewart, and it would have been a certain goal for West Adelaide, but maybe the exuberant youth just took over, and he's had a slamming shot for goal and missed it.
Right, Swatala kicks the ball to himself and then has the luxury of two bounces as he comes into the grandstand pocket. He'll chip it over to Healy. Good use of the footy now. That's obviously a set plan as he comes towards centre wing. Big Scholar through his hands, a chance for Graham. He runs onto the footy. Then the left footer goes towards the full forward area. Up they fly, thumped away from behind by Miles. The ball comes to ground. A Raider picked it up, then lost it. Came back to Keenan Ford. He lost it. The ball squeezes out to Jimmy Gowns. What will he do with it? He can't pick it up. He's having a shocker of a day. He's wrapped up, got the kick away, only as far as Munn. Munn gives it over to Big Marsh. Marsh will come with a little left footer towards Ed Richardson. He gathers it on the half volley. He chips it over now to Dean Howard. Howard will run to the 50 and kick the ball to the pocket. Big Stewart at the back, and the great mark taken by Scotty Welsh for West Adelaide in the right full forward pocket. Not going to be an easy shot for goal with this breeze. Welsh says yet to kick a sausage roll, and he's in that very awkward pocket, Darryl Smith.
Yeah, great play back here at half-back by the West Adelaide players. They had four players to share the ball around. Gave it to Backwell again, over to Marsh, and Marsh gave a little quick kick over to Richardson, and Richardson was able to get it in long as well. And Welsh has marked the ball and was going to kick from around about 30 metres.
Yeah, very tricky little kick, this one, as he allows for the breeze. The kick's on its way. It's gone across the face. Up they fly and through for the minor score to the Bloods. They go to 10-11-71. They lead the Doggies 10-3-63. And poor old Jimmy Gowns, he's had a shocker today.
He's had a shocking day, hasn't he?
And somebody's thrown a bottle on top of the roof. That takes a lot of brains to do that. As Swatala with the ball will bring it back into play.
Yes, Swatala just looking at his options. And you're right, Jimmy Gowns had a dirty day. Might as well go home. We'll be able to go home in about another hour or so, because we've got about 15 minutes to play in this last term. At the back of the pack, ball spills free to Marsh. He's outside 50, tries to do a bit too much with the footy, holding the chutney. Surely umpire calls play on. Kynan Ford's on hands and knees. Hamblin releases Healy to run. He's at centre wing, has a bounce, running away from Hollands, and he bangs it with that familiar left foot into the hot spot. What can Shell do at the back of the pack? He spoils. First there, you'll see is Rutten. In fact, it's Healy. Healy did it the better. Tap there towards Marco Bello. Releases Gowans to run. He's got some time and some space. Gets back on the right foot. Shot at goal is almost out on the full. And Jimmy Gowans' dirty day continues here at the Richmond Oval.
I'll tell you what, I just saw a one-on-one contest there between Healy and Benny Rutten, and it was Healy that wanted the football, and it was a Healy that ended up with the football.
Yeah, good point, DB.
As the ball comes to the back pocket, and the kick has been marked by Dion Miles. Hard up against the boundary line. He'll chip it down the line to Dabrowski. Dabrowski up in front, couldn't take the mark. Should have been. It was up against Marco Bello. Came to Hollands. He dropped it like a hot potato. Picked up by Loper.
Another player's had a...
Ben Dray, in fact, over the boundary line.
There's been another player that's had a dirty day. Has been Ben Hollands. Hasn't done much at all day.
Umpire's going to bounce the ball. Well, he's going to throw it up. We really don't know what they're going to do today.
I don't think they know, DB.
We're about to find out. No, he's going to bounce it. Down it goes. Up it rises. Up they go. Marsh, who tapped the ball down to Rutten. Rutten in turn to Howard. Away go West Adelaide again. Rutten, he's had a bounce. Howard, that was a bit fortuitous as it came to Dray. He gave it to Welsh. Welsh lost it back to Dray. Dray flips it over. Back to Rutten. Rutten over the top looking for Backwell. Hereda holds his man at bay with one hand. Rutten goes in and gets it again. Gives it to Piasanti. Piasanti along centre wing. And the free kick has been paid to...
Backwell.
Backwell too high, was it?
Yes, Slade actually pulled him as the running player was going past. Just grabbed him by the top of the jumper, and the umpire in good position saw the free kick and did bring the ball back.
Okay, so Backwell with the footy, just backward of centre wing on the grandstand side. Not a lot to kick to. Ed Richardson gives him a lead, but he's going to come straight down the centre wing to high ball. The big men will fly. Richardson at the back and an easy mark.
Too easy.
Affected by Heath Hopwood. He's being hung on to. That's got to be 25-metre penalty, surely. And I don't know what Schuback was doing. I think he was trying to stop the intended handball that looked like going out to Steinburner to use his pace, I would imagine, boys. But anyway, Hopwood now, centre wing, grandstand side. The doggies will go forward from this kick. It's a beautifully placed kick, and up in front. Arnott couldn't make the mark, comes to ground. Chance there for Hamlin. He couldn't do much with it. Rutten uses strength, picks up the ball. West Adelaide Players. Oh, they've messed it up, have they? Picked up by Shoeback. In goes Hollands again. Stacks on the Miller, bounce down centre wing here at the Richmond Oval, which has turned into one crackerjack game of football.
Yes, just lack of experience by young Shoeback then. Should have put the shepherd on and let Holland run with the
run with the ball.
But we have a boundary throw, bounce down. Another good-looking bounce by the umpire. It's been rare this afternoon. Marsh at the front of the pack, taps it down towards Taylor. Taylor gave it by hand towards Welsh. High up and under on centre wing at the front of the pack. Richardson couldn't complete the mark. Tapped to the back by Conan Ford. Clever tap towards Hamlin. Kick forward only as far as Taylor. Looks at his option. Gains about 40 metres. Chubb was the target. At the back of the pack, the run of the ball is in favour of Quentin Graham. He bangs it with the right foot towards the right half forward. Sibanala was first there. Follow the bouncing ball. Young man gets a cruel bounce. Back there was Dre. Kicked it off the ground. Clever play. Only doggies players out there. One of them is Swatala. Bangs it with the right foot in favour of Healy. Clever kick. I'll tell you what, he was cool and calm under pressure.
Yep.
Allowed Healy to find some space, and he'll line up from 45.
It was unfortunate from West Adelaide's point of view because he did try to soccer the ball off, and it just didn't come right off his boots correctly. He was only going for a short one, but it went over the head of Backwell, I think it was. But Healy's got the ball, 45 metres out.
Mark this down.
Kick one in the second term. Give a bloke a rap, and he generally lets you down, but not on this occasion. The skipper, under pressure, he was cool. He's kicked his second. We're now back to a 1-point ball game. West Adelaide 10-11-71. Central Districts 11-4-70. It's on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and courtesy of Northern Paving. Let's go back to the studios and check scores from around the grounds.
Sturt 8-13-61, lead the Eagles 8-9-57, North Adelaide 13-9-87, lead Glenelg 10-10-70. Thanks to Northern Paving, back to the thriller at Richmond.
Back in the centre, 1 point the difference in favour of the Bloods. 12 minutes gone, final term, down goes the bounce. Up they go, favours Harada this time. Trying to come through with Storm and Norman, couldn't take the ball. Tempted kick off the ground, back into a pack of players it goes. And we'll have another bounce down or a ball up.
12.5 minutes gone, courtesy of Ducks Hot Water, and it is a 1-point ball game. 10 goals, 11-71. That is West Adelaide leading Centrals, 11 goals, 4-70 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Down goes the bounce. Marsh got it down to his teammate in back. Well, he's wrapped up. It comes out the back. Chance for Norman. Storm and Norman comes to centre wing where Piasati's got the run of the ball. If he can pick it up, he can. He'll advance West Adelaide forward. He thought about a bounce, but then kicked it long. Inside 50, players set themselves. Big Stewart went up. Through came Howard. He actually threw it out to young Holland. He's grabbed high, and the umpire's going to pay a free kick. The umpire was at the back of the pack. He didn't see the throw, and consequently the free kick will come to Benny Hollands, and he'll line up for his first shot at goal.
Yeah, good crumbing there by Hollands, though. Was in the front of the pack where all good crumbing forwards should be. And DB, you said it was the throw. You thought it was the throw, did you?
Yeah, Dean Howard threw it, no doubt about it. The umpire, okay. He had his back to the umpire, and he couldn't see it. So
nevertheless, though, Hollands was taken high, and he's received the free kick, and he's going to kick on a 45-degree angle, no further than 35 metres out.
So, very important kick.
No question of that.
Needless to say, as Benny Hollands, usually a very reliable kick. Tell you what, he drilled it straight through the high diddle for the Bloods. They go to 11-11-77 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. The Doggies are 11-4-63.
Yeah, the 9th individual goal scorer for West Adelaide, and they've kicked 11 goals. So a good performance by West Adelaide here, and they've just sneaking away by 7 points. But Ben Hollands in the action. He's had a pretty quiet day up until then. He's got in the front of the action there. Read the ball well off the pack, received the high tackle, and then went back and kicked truly for his first.
And of course 11-4 is 70, not 63.
Exactly right. Umpire Pfeiffer is in the middle of the ground. He's in control of play. Very deliberate in his action. That bounce is not too bad, particularly in the context of the way it's been happening this afternoon. In amongst the traffic was Arnott. He kicked it forward. Follow the bouncing ball. Bello was first there, but he lost the ball in that contest. Taylor was the back. He threw the handball up in the air, put Piasante well and truly under the pump, so he tapped it towards the boundary line. Hamlin threw it back into the corridor. Clever handball by Bello. Go towards McGowan. McGowan to Slade. He can run. Goes towards centre forward. Off the side of the boot. Awkward bounce first there was Arnott. Threw it out in the direction of Harada. Again, a shocking bounce. First there's Shoeback, bangs the Bloods into attack once again. Holland was a target. That's where it went. Took a good mark in front of the eyes and played on from 50. Shot at goal, right to the teeth of goal. Which way will it bounce? Howard was hung on to surely. Marsh is there 2-on-1 in favour of the Bloods. He lost his footing and leg. Surely umpire legging. Top to the top of the square. Stewart couldn't complete the mark. Well, Chubb is working up forward, gave it towards Hollands. Taken high. Umpire says play on. Crowd not happy with that. Doggies will clear through. Steinberg on the outer side of the ground.
Tell you what, there's something going on here, and I don't know what it is as it comes to centre wing. Danny Stevens has got it around the body. He goes to half forward. It bounces. The bounce favours the Bloods again. They've had a bit of luck with the bounce. Grabbed high was the West Adelaide player, and this time the umpire sees it, and he'll play the free kick to West Adelaide. I tell you what, the Doggies were lucky up there because there was a legging to March, and then Holland's almost had his head pulled off, but the umpires have gone down the other end of the ground, straight through the hands of Donaldson. It's still in contest. Attempted kick off the ground. Healy will go in and pick it up and flip it over the top. A chance for the Dogs if they can pick it. Jimmy Gowns is there. It's picked up though and left-footed in towards the full forward area by Danny Stevens. In front was Rutten at the back. Shell, the player, he dives on the footy. It's still in contest. No one can pick it up. It's at the bottom of the pack. Who's going to come out with it? It comes to Bello. Bello off the ground, and he kicked a goal with the Doggies as they go to 12 goals, 476. First goal to Bello. They trail the Bloods 11-11-77.
Yeah, getting very, very fortuitous here. I mean, it was interesting up there. As you said, DB, Hollands had his head ripped off. Marsh had his leg pulled off, and no free kick was paid. Down the other end, Centrals went with the ball, and as it so often happens, a goal is scored by the opposition. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how West Adelaide handle that situation, because they don't want to throw their heads away and start bowing them and saying, well, hang on, boys, we had the opportunity there. They've just got to attack the ball and get themselves back in the game. They do still lead by 1 point.
Donaldson off, Lothar on, straight into the contest. Marsh taps it forward. Shoeback had it, then lost it. Coming through the pack was Gowans. He gave it to the teammate in Steinberger on centre wing on the outer side. He motors away and bangs a high kick towards centre half forward. Big fly at the back by Walton. Couldn't complete the mark. First there was Rutten through the handle out towards Backwell. He's been very busy this afternoon. Kick towards centre wing. Target was Richardson. At the front of the pack was Hopwood. He's happy to see it towards the boundary line. It's where it goes, right in front of the RPH commentary team. 1 point the margin on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. 11-11-77. That's the Bloods. The Doggies 12-4-76. 17.5 gone on the Ducks of Water time clock.
Boundary throw in. Marsh, who's played such a wonderful game at the back. Slade runs onto it. Richardson met him heavily, but the ball came back to Backwell. He tried to handball through a Central District player. Impossible as Slade gets the handball over to Hopwood. It's a beauty too. Hopwood will bang it up inside 50 for the Doggies. It's up. They go a great mark across the front of the pack to Danny Stevens. And Danny Stevens will go back and will put the Doggies in front. He's already kicked 2.
Yeah, very costly turnover by West Adelaide here. Backwell running through the centre of the wing. Went to give a handball through a couple of Central Districts players in traffic. Couldn't do it. They rebounded the ball, and Danny Stevens took the mark uncontested at half forward. Will kick from around about 45 metres.
Kick from Danny Stevens goes straight through the high little for a goal to the Doggies. They hit the front. 13 goals, 482. West Adelaide 11-11-77, and the West Adelaide crowd still booing here after that couple of incidents back about 5 minutes ago.
They're not very happy with the umpires, are the West Adelaide supporters, but Danny Stevens kicking his third goal. A great kick too, 45 metres out, 45 degree angle, and it went like a bow and arrow. The arrow straight through the middle, and a great kick to Stevens. Now, Central Districts are in front by 5 points, and this will just test the character of West Adelaide to see how they can perform under enormous pressure, and particularly with finals coming up, this will be a real test of their character.
Herrera into the ruck contest again. Certainly height advantage in favour of Marsh, who's been very, very good this afternoon. Bounce favours Marsh, and he took it out of the contest, threw it away. Lowther overran the ball, Slade in amongst it, threw the handball out in the direction of the general in McGowan. On hands and knees, but he got the handball towards Hamlin, who bangs a tumble punt kick into centre half forward. Dre had it, then lost it, probably should have taken the mark. Ball out towards Dion Miles, measures the kick nicely to Norman on centre wing. He can come back inside to Lothar, who's standing with his hands in the air, son. You might as well run. Norman goes long and wide at the back of the pack. Big fly by Welsh. Took a very good mark, second in line. Tell you what, he's their talent. Just trying to get it together for 4 quarters is perhaps a question mark, particularly with the osteitis pubis He's just overcome, bangs the football. Drop punt in towards the centre half forward area at the front of the pack. Richardson couldn't complete the mark. Out there was Quentin Graham under the pump, taken high for mine. Umpire calls play on Schubeck first there. Hollands again taken high, but umpire continues to let things go on. Schubeck had it. Bello had him. Ball in dispute. What's the umpire say? Holding the chutney. You don't have to be dead to be stiff as Bello takes full advantage of it and plays on. Has his second bounce, shepherded well by Stevens off the ball. Goes with the right foot. Drop punt to the direction of Walton, but a very, very good mark by Benny Rutten.
Sure was. He gives it over to Storman. Norman will flip it up to Taylor. He's running backwards. There's nobody there to run past. He chips it up to centre wing, and Benny Hollands has got it for the Bloods. He's got to play it loose at centre wing. I think it's Big Marsh. Is it or Miles? Miles it is, who tries to get back onto his left boot. Does so. In fact, he gets onto his right boot and then puts it straight down the throat of Steinburner. Very poor kick there from Dion Miles. So Steinburner, as we enter time on with the footy half-back out of side. The Doggies in front, 82-77. Steinburner slowing the game down, holding onto the footy. Then he goes short and gives it to Slade. Slade now didn't make much ground with that kick. Still at half-back out of side.
They've still got possession though, DB. That's the important thing with Centrals.
Well, it is at the moment. Surely has Slade out of side now. Hanging onto the footy, so he'll go straight down that wing, a high ball. The pack set themselves. Marsh in front position, almost takes it, couldn't do so. Off hands to McGowan. McGowan gave it over to Ford. Ford's hurried kick. It's going to be a tricky bounce taken by Rutten. Rutten thought about the handball, gave it back to Taylor. Taylor will go short to centre wing. Norman's there again and takes the mark for Westies. He'll go down the centre wing. Miles, this is almost a carbon copy of the last little bit of play we had from Westies. What will he do this time, Miles?
He's got Backwell in the centre of the ground all on his own.
But he decides to come right back to half back to Rutten, and this will set the opportunity up as running off the ground there was the Sivanala. It's allowed Backwell to come onto the footy. He's had a bounce there. What will he do? He'll come towards centre wing, looking there for Ed Richardson, who takes the mark. So Ed Richardson now with the footy. He's got Big Stewart up in the pocket. The footy goes that way. Over his head, though, off hands, a chance for Swatala. Did it superbly, the young man. He put it out to McGowan, who put him under enormous pressure. Somehow McGowan got the handball through, and away goes Swatala into the centre of the ground. Norman met him after he got rid of the footy. Thumped off the pack by Dabrowski. In goes Benny Rutten. He's tried his heart out today. Tapped it towards the half-back flank. It's one-on-one there, trying to pick it up there for the Doggies was Shelley. Couldn't do so. Rutten got the handball out, but this time the Doggies run onto it through Hamlin. Hamlin into the centre. It's given now to Biscuits Arnott, who goes bang with a long bomb towards full forward at the back. It's Dion Miles in opposition to Hamlin. He tries to control the footy. No, it's not Hamlin. The ball tipped back towards the centre of the square. Thumped away by Dabrowski. The Bloods have still got an opportunity as the ball comes to half-back, and it's taken by Dre.
Dre gave it to Rutten. He's got some time and some space. He goes towards centre wing. Kick had to be good, 3-on-1 in favour of the Doggies. Straight down the billy goat of Evil Roy Slade. That's about one of the very few areas that Rutten's made this afternoon. McGowan took the kick, measured the kick on the right foot. I think it's in direction of Cochrane. That's where the footy goes. Players are well and truly out on their feet this afternoon.
Well,
been a very entertaining game of football.
Benny Rutten standing the mark, certainly played the game of his life so far, and DB, he turned the ball over, but I just think it was just sheer tiredness that caused that.
Cochrane has the football. He's outside. He's going to let go from right on 50. Distance will test this young man, so he just holds it up, goes in short, clever kick. And he found Heath Hopwood.
He was just waiting for someone to lead and run into that space, and Heath Hopwood did do that.
No, it's actually Walton, my error.
It is Walton too, and he ran straight into that space. Cochrane held the ball up and then just chipped the ball over the top of his man, and Rutten standing on the mark, and Walton ran onto it and marked 45 metres out, 45-degree angle.
Off the boot, doesn't look too bad. Umpire has not moved a muscle, but to indicate a goal. 24 gone in the final term. You think the Doggies are home. 14-4 they lead. The Bloods 11-11 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. That's an 11-point margin, and courtesy of Northern Paving. Let's go back to the studio and check scores from around the grounds.
Final score from Unley. Sturt 9-15-69 have defeated the Eagles 8-10-58. And North Adelaide 16-11-107. Lee Glenelg 11-10-76. Hargraves with 7 so far. Back to Richmond, thanks to the Northern Paving Centre.
Ball back in the centre, up they go. Marsh took the ball out of the air, then lost it. A chance for McGowan. He's brought to ground. The ball is back in to a pack of players, and there'll be a bounce down in the centre. So the Doggies have weathered the storm.
the sign of a good side, isn't it, DB, when they've West Adelaide got themselves in front, but Central Districts have come back and got this game, you'd think, well and truly under their wraps now.
Down goes the bounce. Marsh was grabbed around the neck, but he can do anything here today as the ball's taken by Bello. A big torpedo up inside 50. At the back, it's the Doggies the opportunity. The ball spills out. Chance now for Dre. He put his head down, but didn't really want the footy. A chance for Cochrane, who'll pick it up and give it to Bello. Bello will run round his opponent, run inside 50, and he'll just finish off with a little nail in the coffin. Will he? No. He's away to the right-hand side for the minor score. The Doggies go to 14 goals, 5. They lead West Adelaide 11-11.
Yes, Doggies kicked 4 for the term. Bloods only the solitary goal. As we see, Simon Munn will bring the ball back in. He wants to go short in the direction of Howard. That's where the football goes. Gain about 30 metres. Gowan's on the mark. They'd want to get a wriggle on, the Bloods. He goes by hand towards Munn. Put him under the pump. Gets around one player. Not sure where he wants to go, but he gives it back to Howard. Howard goes in short once again, direction of Dre, but it was too far for him. Lux of fortune as it lands in the arms of Backwell. Backwell goes by hand towards Taylor. He's on centre wing. Goes towards right half forward. Stewart was the target. Hot put at the front of the pack, got a hand on it. Piasante picks up the loose footy, kicks around the corner, direction of Welsh. Can he complete the bouncing ball? Awkward bounce evades almost all and sundry. Geister got enough hand on it to see it over. We'll have a boundary thrown right on the arc of 50. Grandstands hide here at the Richmond Oval. 26 gone on the Ducks with a time clock. The margin is 12 points.
Boundary throw in. Marsh taken by big Stewart. He'll flip it over to Backwell. Backwell's got a chance to kick a goal as the siren goes. The ball goes out of bounds on the full. The Doggies have weathered the storm. They win 14-5-89. West Adelaide 11-11-77.
Yeah, goal scorers.